Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Request you to settle down as we will begin in a few minutes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We will kickstart the evening in a couple of minutes. Please settle down. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Times of India is so honored to have you present here with us this evening as we walk towards a greener tomorrow. Tamil Nadu Green Energy Corporation Limited presents Green Horizons, Energy and Environment, powered by the Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board. Before we begin this very productive evening with a tapestry of distinguished speakers with ideas and expertise in sustainability, as well as eager participants who are thrilled to soak in the many ways that we can do better, let us all rise up for the Tamil Thai Varthu. Please be seated. Well, we don't ever start an evening without lighting the Kuttuvilakku. So we will light the lamp and formally begin this evening. May I invite our dignitaries on stage. Ladies first, Ms. Supriya Sahu, Additional Chief Secretary to the Government, Energy, Climate Change, Environment and Forest Department, please come on stage. Dr. Jayanti Murli, Chairperson of Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board. Dr. J. Radhakrishnan, Additional Chief Secretary, Tamil Nadu Power Distribution Corporation Limited. Mr. Mangatram Sharma, Additional Chief Secretary to the Government, Energy Department. Dr. Anish Shekhar, Managing Director, Tamil Nadu Green Energy Corporation Limited. And Shri Manikandan Nair, Associate Vice President and Response Head, The Times of India. Please come on stage. This is the first of its kind when it comes to the Times of India. The Green Horizons Conclave is presented by the Tamil Nadu Green Energy Corporation Limited. The power sector in Tamil Nadu has seen several reforms and reorganizations to keep up with the evolving needs of the people of Tamil Nadu. The Tamil Nadu Transmission Corporation Limited and Tamil Nadu Generation and Distribution Corporation Limited were established as subsidiary companies when Tamil Nadu Electricity Board was reorganized in 2010. And in 2024, Tamil Nadu Green Energy Corporation Limited was formed to primarily focus on green energy business. Be it hydro, wind, solar, you name it, they've got it covered. For instance, the Paikara hydroelectric scheme in the Nilgiris region, the Kadambare pumped storage powerhouse in the Pollachi region. These have been vastly successful in hydroelectric power generation. Tamil Nadu stands in the second position in India in terms of installed wind energy capacity, thanks to our high wind power generation installations in Kanyakumari, Tirunelveli, Theni, Dindigul, Tenkasi, and Coimbatore. And when it comes to solar, we've made significant strides in harnessing solar energy to complement the state's wind energy capacity. This includes developing solar energy infrastructure, promoting rooftop solar installations, and overall reduce reliance on fossil fuels and aid in transitioning to sustainable sources of energy. Now they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Let's double down on that and watch a quick AV. Here you go.
மாண்புமிகு தமிழ்நாடு முதலமைச்சர் திரு மு.க. ஸ்டாலின் அவர்கள் தமிழ்நாடு முதலமைச்சராக பதவியேற்ற பின்னர் அவரது தலைமையிலான திராவிட மாடல் அரசு பல்வேறு நலத்திட்டங்களை சிறப்பாக செயல்படுத்தி வருவதோடு தமிழ்நாட்டின் எதிர்காலத்தை பாதுகாக்கும் ஒரு வரலாற்று சிறப்புமிக்க பாதையையும் உறுதியாக உருவாக்கி வருகிறது. அந்த பாதை பசுமை வளர்ச்சியின் பாதை. ஒரு காலத்தில் மின் உற்பத்தி என்பது வளர்ச்சிக்கான கருவியாக இருந்தது. இன்று அது எதிர்கால தலைமுறைகளுக்கான பொறுப்பாக மாறியுள்ளது. புதுப்பிக்கத்தக்க ஆற்றல் வளர்ச்சியில் தமிழ்நாடு இன்று இந்தியாவின் முன்னணி மாநிலமாக திகழ்கிறது. காற்றாலை திறனில் இந்தியாவின் 2ஆம் இடமும் மற்றும் மொத்த புதுப்பிக்கத்தக்க ஆற்றலில் இந்தியாவின் 4ஆம் இடமும் பெற்று 26,000 மெகாவாட்டிற்கும் அதிகமான பசுமை ஆற்றல் திறனுடன் தமிழ்நாடு ஒரு புதுப்பிக்கத்தக்க ஆற்றல் மையமாக உருவெடுத்துள்ளது. இந்த மாற்றத்தின் மையமாக செயல்படுவது தமிழ்நாடு பசுமை எரிசக்தி நிறுவனம் TNGECL. புதுப்பிக்கத்தக்க ஆற்றல், ஆற்றல் சேமிப்பு, மின்சார வாகனங்கள் மற்றும் மின் கட்டமைப்பு சீர்திருத்தங்களை ஒருங்கிணைந்து பசுமை ஆற்றல் மாற்றத்தை நடைமுறையாக மாற்றும் நிறுவனம் TNGECL. 1986ஆம் ஆண்டு கயத்தாறு பகுதியில் இந்தியாவின் முதல் காற்றாலை மின் திட்டமும் 2010ஆம் ஆண்டு சிவகங்கையில் தமிழ்நாட்டின் முதல் சூரிய மின் நிலையமும் தொடங்கிய நாளிலிருந்து பசுமை ஆற்றலில் தமிழ்நாடு முன்னோடி மாநிலமாக பயணித்து வருகிறது. இந்த வளர்ச்சியுடன் ஒரு முக்கிய சவால் எழுந்தது. பகலில் அதிகரிக்கும் சூரிய மின் உற்பத்தி, இரவில் அதிகரிக்கும் மின் தேவை. இந்த இடைவெளிக்கான தீர்வாகவே ஆற்றல் சேமிப்பு திட்டங்கள் முன்னெடுக்கப்பட்டன. பேட்டரி எனர்ஜி ஸ்டோரேஜ் சிஸ்டம்ஸ் மூலம் மாநிலம் முழுவதும் ஆயிரக்கணக்கான மெகாவாட் மணி திறன் கொண்ட சேமிப்பு வசதிகள் உருவாக்கப்பட்டு பகலில் சேமித்து இரவில் வழங்கும் புதிய மின்சார காலம் தொடங்கியுள்ளது. கரூர், திருவாரூர் பகுதிகளில் செயல்படுத்தப்படும் சோலார் ஸ்டோரேஜ் ஹைபிரிட் திட்டங்கள் பசுமை ஆற்றலை 24 மணி நேர சக்தியாக மாற்றுகின்றன. அரசு கட்டடங்களில் ரூஃப்டாப் சோலார் திட்டங்கள் தொடங்கப்பட்டு அரசு தானே முன் உதாரணமாக மாறியுள்ளது. வீட்டுக்கொரு சோலார் இயக்கத்தின் மற்றும் PM சூரிய கர் மூலம் பசுமை ஆற்றல் மக்களின் வாழ்க்கையின் ஒரு பகுதியாக மாறி வருகிறது. பழைய காற்றாலைகளை புதிய தொழில்நுட்பத்துடன் மறுசீரமைத்து அதே நிலப்பரப்பில் அதிக உற்பத்தி பெறும் விண்ட் சோலார் ஹைபிரிட் திட்டங்கள் வள பாதுகாப்புடன் கூடிய வளர்ச்சியை உறுதி செய்கின்றன. போக்குவரத்திலும் பசுமை மாற்றம் வேகம் எடுத்து மின்சார வாகனங்கள் மற்றும் சார்ஜிங் கட்டமைப்புகள் மாநிலம் முழுவதும் உருவாகி வருகின்றன. நீர்மின் மற்றும் பம்ப் ஸ்டோரேஜ் திட்டங்கள் நீண்ட கால ஆற்றல் பாதுகாப்பை வழங்குகின்றன. கடல்சார் காற்றாலை முயற்சிகள் தமிழ்நாட்டை இந்தியாவின் எதிர்கால ஆஃப்ஷோர் விண்ட் ஹப்பாக மாற்றும் திசையில் நகர்த்துகின்றன. இவை அனைத்தையும் ஒரே பாதையில் இணைக்கும் புதுப்பிக்கத்தக்க ஒருங்கிணைந்த ஆற்றல் கொள்கை தமிழ்நாட்டின் பசுமை எதிர்காலத்திற்கு வலுவான அடித்தளமாக அமையுள்ளது. இந்தியாவின் முதல் TNEV தளம் இடைத்தரகர்கள் இன்றி நில உரிமையாளர்கள் வருவாய் ஈட்டவும் நிறுவனங்கள் சார்ஜிங் நிலையங்களை விரைவாக விரிவுபடுத்தவும் வழி செய்கிறது. இது மின் உற்பத்தி மட்டுமல்ல, இது எதிர்கால தலைமுறைகளுக்கான உறுதி. தமிழ்நாடு அரசின் தலைமையில் TNGECL-இன் வழிகாட்டுதலுடன் தமிழ்நாடு இன்று இந்தியாவின் பசுமை ஆற்றல் முன்மாதிரி மாநிலமாக உருவெடுத்து வருகிறது. இந்த மாற்றத்தின் மையமாக இருந்து பசுமை ஆற்றலை தங்கள் வாழ்வின் ஒரு பகுதியாக ஏற்றுக்கொண்ட தமிழ்நாட்டு மக்களுக்கும் இந்த இலக்கை நிஜமாக மாற்ற உழைத்த அனைவருக்கும் எங்கள் நெஞ்சார்ந்த நன்றியை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறோம்.
Come on, I think we owe them a heartfelt round of applause for all the efforts that have been taken. Now, Green Horizons is powered by Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board, a statutory body entrusted with the implementation of environmental laws and regulations in the state. It constantly seeks to create comprehensive programs for the prevention, control, and abatement of water and air pollution. And to achieve the same, they've established 18 environmental laboratories across various district offices for analyzing water, wastewater samples, as well as air emissions. It also oversees hazardous waste, biomedical waste, plastic waste, and electronic waste management through various rules and authorizations. For the effective and efficient functioning of the organization, the board has a three-tier system. Number one, the head office in Chennai. Number two, 9 zonal offices. And number three, 44 district environmental engineer offices. We are truly grateful to associate with the government of Tamil Nadu, TNGECL, TNPCB, as well as industry leaders for this first chapter of Green Horizons. Before we go further, let's have a look at another AV. This one's about the Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board.
For over 4 decades, the Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board has led the way in balancing economic growth with environmental preservation. Having pioneered continuous effluent and emission monitoring systems in India for more than a decade, TNPCB recently launched a first-of-its-kind integrated environmental monitoring studio, which tracks the air and water quality and the movement of hazardous and biomedical waste in the state in real time. Under Meendum Manjapai campaign, TNPCB launched Manjapai kiosks at Besanaga and Nilankarai beaches, creating community hubs. The Manjapai Brigade, along with the Blue and Green Brigades, is spreading environmental consciousness across Chennai, Ooty, Kodaikanal and Coimbatore. In November 2024, TNPCB organized the Eco Alternatives Conclave to promote eco-friendly options, and Eco Alternatives Directory was also unveiled. TNPCB also launched India's first discarded fishnet collection center at Kasimedu, turning marine waste into valuable resources. Under TNPCB's Kurungadigal scheme, over 14 lakh trees have been planted to support climate resilience. With the above initiatives, TNPCB is positioning Tamil Nadu as a global leader in sustainability and circular economy.
Once again, thank you so much for this initiative, because I know a lot of people get together for a multitude of reasons, but for a greener tomorrow, that makes it truly special. And as you can see, I've dressed for the occasion. Today, we've gathered here to discuss not just the small and significant changes that we can make to foster a greener tomorrow. We will also be looking at dialogue between thought leaders and experts to discuss future policy making that will enable this on a macro level. Without further ado, may I request Mr. Manigandan Nair, Associate Vice President and Response Head, The Times of India, to share a welcome note for the dignitaries of the evening.
Vanakkam. A very good evening and a warm welcome to everyone who has taken time off on their busy schedule, that too on a Monday, the starting of the week, right? I think that's where all the green champions, the green in you, I'm sure after this August gathering will come out. And I'm sure each one of us individually are contributing to leave a better planet or a earth. And amongst us, we have some great luminaries. Let me do my customary welcome note. At a time when the world is reimagining its energy and environment, this conclave has been envisioned as a collaborative platform that brings together policymakers, industry leaders, innovators, and sustainability practitioners to exchange insights and engage in meaningful dialogue that focuses on most of the critical priorities of our future. Green Horizons seeks to accelerate innovation in energy transition, foster a green environment, and contribute to long sustainable environment. I think that's the key, or one of the key takeaways of this program today. We are honored by the presence of an esteemed gathering of leaders who are shaping Tamil Nadu's sustainability, green energy journey. You would have seen both the AVs, and I'm sure it's a no-brainer. People who have created that are amongst us. We have been reading many interesting facts taken and the efforts taken by the Tamil Nadu government. The launch of the Sea Turtle Conservation Center by our Honorable Chief Minister M.K. Stalin Avargal and our state's first urban greening policy are something laudable. And today, with pride, we warmly welcome the respected officials gathered here. Amongst us, we have our champion of Earth, Srimati Supriya Sahu IAS, Additional Chief Secretary to the Government, Environment, Climate Change and Forest Department. That's a huge portfolio, ma'am. I think you're carrying a awesome this one. I think a warm welcome to Dr. J. Radhakrishnan, IAS, Additional Chief Secretary, Chairman, Tamil Nadu Power Distribution Corporation Limited. A hearty welcome to you, sir. Dr. Jayanti Murli, IFS, Chairperson, Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board. Warm welcome, ma'am. Mr. Mangatram Sharma, IAS, Additional Chief Secretary to the Government of Tamil Nadu, Public Welfare Department and Department of Energy. Thank you, sir. Warm welcome to you. Dr. Anish Shekhar, IAS, MD, Green Energy Corporation. Mr. A. Rahul Nath, IAS, Director, Environment and Climate Change. Mr. Anurag Mishra, IFS, Special Secretary, Environment and Climate. I extend a warm and a special welcome to each one of you. We are also pleased in our midst to be joined by Dinesh Arjun, co-founder and CEO, Rapti. Welcome, Dinesh. Mr. Nirmal Raghavan, founder of Mega Foundation. And Ms. Kalpana Manivannan, founder CEO of Kalpa Vriksha. Thank you for coming. Each of you bring in a whole lot of valuable perspectives about the green environment, conservation, and sustainability. And if you look at every newspaper today talks about ESG, correct? And most importantly, everybody wants to do something about green. The other day I was traveling in a car. I had to use a tissue. And involuntarily, I had to throw it. My little son, who's in the 7th standard, tapped my shoulder. He was sitting, said, "Dad, stop the car. And please, pick that up." So it starts quite young, I guess, this green in students, and I'm sure green within us. So this is presented, ladies and gentlemen. The Green Horizons Conclave is presented by the Tamil Nadu Green Energy Corporation Limited, powered by the Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board. It's just not only a discussion forum, it is a call to action driven by thoughtful conversations and, most importantly, shared experiences. We hope today's deliberations will inspire solutions that are inclusive, innovative, and impactful. And once again, a warm and a hearty welcome to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for prefacing our upcoming conversations and for introducing the august lineup that we have here today. Up next, we owe it to ourselves to talk about energy. Because as a child, I learned that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. There's kinetic energy, potential energy, blah, blah, blah. But today, I know that energy and its sources are an integral part of geopolitical decisions, and we are at the cusp of decision-making when it comes to policies. To deliver the special address, please welcome the esteemed Mr. Mangatram Sharma, IAS, Additional Chief Secretary to the Government, Department of Energy. He's worked in a multitude of departments in various capacities, from labor and unemployment, higher education, MSMEs, social reforms, to animal husbandry, dairying, fisheries, and fishermen welfare. You bring in a vast sea of experience and in-depth understanding to solve for problems practically. Very stoked to have you on stage, sir. Namaste, please come on stage.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm slightly not well, though I should have retired, but I thought let me go and face it. Whatever is there, I'll try my best to speak few words about the sector, what we're doing. First of all, I would like to thank Madam for giving this a wonderful title, which only you can give, nobody else can. She is one of, Madam Supriya is one of our most creative officers in the CADA, and she has given a beautiful thing. I think even she has beaten our Radhakrishnan also. So we will do justice with this thing. And normally what happens is that this is happening with the Environment Ministry. As you know, their job is to regulate, our job is to destroy. So we are trying to make this healthy thing is that where both regulation and the development, they can go together. So in my opinion, that should be the theme of this thing, without doing any damage, without destroying the climate, without doing any damages, how we can do the development of the energy sector. That is one of the things I'm looking at. Normally, you have been saying the pollution control board, if you don't take it in that negative sense, she is saying that powered by this, energy powered by, because normally you only puncture it. So I hope that this powering thing will be continued, and you will be able to give it some guidance and help to support, because the problem which Radhakrishnan faces when he goes down through the winch, and he knows that there is only one way and there has to be some diversion, and this has to be rectified. So that is why we come to Madam to find out some help and do it. So with this positive environment, I just want to say that as far as the government is concerned, we would like to kind of assure you here in the beginning that we are giving full attention to the stakeholders. We have about 26 gigawatt or 26,000 megawatt available under the green energy sector. And the challenge is that we have to double it in next 5 years. Therefore, we have to work very, very hard, both on the transmission sides. We are creating not only through government, but also through the private sector. And luckily, private sector is coming forward with huge investments in the major transmission lines. We have already done the Green Corridor 1, Green Corridor 2, and now we are all talking about Green Corridor 3. So with those kind of investments coming both from the state government, central government, and of course from the private sector, we are looking at huge potential for kind of creation of huge infrastructure in the transmission sector. So therefore, after that, obviously, we will be able to take the other developments which is happening in this. For example, if you look at the wind energy, we had approved some policy about 6 months back, which was first of a policy. It was slightly done in a hurried manner. But when we went to the wind energy conference sometime in November, the stakeholders told us the difficulties, and we were very, very quick. And within 2 months, the HOD sent us a very, very, very ambitious proposal, saying that whatever policy we made, there were some major mistakes in that. For example, 30 lakh megawatt kind of fees which we are charging per megawatt, that we reduce it to 5 lakhs. Similarly, other development charges, we reduce it to almost 1/6. Also, other kind of major amendments we were able to make, and these bold decisions were possible only when we are doing along with the stakeholders. Otherwise, normally in the government, when we are working, we work in the silos and we are not aware of the things. So therefore, the conferences like this become much more important, where we know what is going and what is the actual requirement from the stakeholders, and from the media group, definitely they will be able to give both plus and minus because normally, no, the stakeholders, they will expect everything from the government, but at the somewhere we need to do the balancing. Therefore, major sector coming to this, we are expecting that wind energy, all our old windmills and the things, they should see a major investment coming in, and we have amended the policy to, and we have made it very, very kind of conducive where the investments will come, and we will like to assure you from the corporation side that not only the hand holding, but also we will make sure that all the windmills are repowered, re-engineered, and any other, not only that, but also the kind of mixture of both the solar as well as the wind we are permitting. So those kind of mixed solar farming also we are allowing, and that also will be, it has been approved in the revised policy. So with these revised policy, we will be able to we will be able to get at least somewhere or at least or 8 to 10 megawatts or gigawatts of wind energy. That is one thing we are expecting. The second obviously is from the some kind of, we will say that storage capacity, BESS and all everywhere. I think every month we are going for new tenders, and major investments are coming into storage, and this thing also battery operated wherever storage systems are coming. Third major will be from the storage, because hydro, I would say that micro hydro was slightly neglected in between this thing, while the northern states did a great job, but we somehow missed it, and we are trying to focus that from the micro thing, and similarly from pump storage also there is another area which we are working. And if some kind of support is required from the government, we will be more than happy if that comes as the recommendation, that this is a kind of, not only from the government of India, but state government can also come out with some support, some viable funding gap, which the stakeholder think is that absolutely required. The government will be more than willing, happy to provide that kind of grant to because this is one of the highest priority areas. And third, of course, we are working on the this comprehensive policy, which I think Anish has sent to the government, and we are trying to make sure that we are consulting with our departments, and if that policy comes through, then other departments will also come on board, and we will be able to do a lot of work in that policy also. I'm not, because it is not yet approved, I'm not able to kind of share those details with you right now, but that will be much more than what we have already done under these three policies, including the amended policies, and we look forward that with that approved policy and all, we will be able to bring some more. The last point, of course, is the kind of thing which we have to do, let us say, in the note, because the fishermen and other things, therefore, when it goes to that kind of ocean energy, we need to kind of work on this. And we are working with the stakeholders on that account also, the wind energy, and the, of course, the NIVE, the institute which is there, that is helping us also in that regard. And we will work on those kind of things. The details will be shared by all of the officers who are dealing with this thing. So therefore, on behalf of the government, I would like to assure you and reassure you that all these suggestions which are coming through this session, evening session, which is very, very important session, please feel free and give us the right kind of feedback. We don't want to see only the positive things, because most of the time when we sit in our meetings, every monthly meetings, like where chief secretary chairs, we come out and we feel that so much work has been done, but unfortunately that is not communicated to the stakeholders. So these kind of things, you can feel free and please let us know what is happening. And at the same time, any correction, so course correction is required, we are very, very open to you. And if it comes to at right time, then we can perhaps do it with less pain. And therefore, on behalf of the state government, on behalf of all these corporations and my own department, I would like to assure you that we are open to all your suggestions, and we look forward that these recommendations come this in some form of some report, so that it gives some leeway in talking to the finance department, and we'll be able to convince it. Because I have no doubt, but because when it comes from the Radhakrishnan side, being an old finance DS budget, I think he has a soft corner, and he's able to convince all the higher ups in the finance department and the CMO, and he's able to get that thing to be approved. And so this is the golden opportunity where all these 4 officers you might have seen, they are all hyperactive, very positive, bubbling with energy, and we should really make use of this. And I, on behalf of the state government, I think Radha knows it, that I am not stopping any things, and I am trying to be proactive from my side. Of course, Chief Secretary is there to help us, and we have been getting decisions very, very fast and very quickly, and very, very bold decisions. So therefore, I look forward that some recommendations come to us which we are able to implement. Thank you once again for inviting me, and it's really a privilege. Thank you, ma'am, for giving this opportunity.
Sir, please stay back. Sir, please, if I could just hold you back on stage. Thank you for underscoring the interdependence between development and regulation in the energy sector especially, and the collaborative nature of what we seek to accomplish. To felicitate, sir, I would like to welcome Mr. Manigandan Nair from the Times of India Group on stage. Thank you, sir. Well, we talk about energy conservation, tapping into alternate sources, etc. We must also address how we can facilitate outreach and make the entire exercise bear fruit. Now, to deliver the special address, please join me in welcoming Dr. J. Radhakrishnan, IAS, Additional Chief Secretary, Tamil Nadu Power Distribution Corporation Limited. With decades of experience in dealing with grassroots level problems in various capacities, as district collector, as health secretary, he's held leadership roles in transport, cooperation, food and consumer protection, finance, and education departments. But truly, what touched me was how he led post-disaster psychosocial support for families after the Nagapattinam tsunami, the Kumbakonam fire, the Chennai floods, just to name a few. Truly stoked to share the stage with you, sir. Please come on stage, and it's all yours now.
A very good evening to everybody. Most respected Madam Supriya Sahu, IAS, Additional Chief Secretary, Government, Environment, Climate and Climate Change and Forest Department. Most respected Mr. Mangatram Sharma, IAS, my colleague, Additional Chief Secretary to both Energy Department and PWD Department. Again, my own colleague and course mate, I think all Mangat, myself, Jayanti, we are all course mates. Jayanti Madam, Chairperson, Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board, Dr. Anish Shekhar, Dr. Rahul Nath, Dr. Dinesh Arjun Nirmal, and again, our own Times of India, Manigandan Nair, who has always been, it is always lovely to attend your function. Perhaps fashion shows I also go and mix, and here he has trapped me into such a intellectual kind of gathering. So first I would request that you should get inspiration from our Energy Secretary. If by being sick, he can give such a strong speech. All of you should be very energetic in this meeting and be very lively. That would be my first request, because all of us, we are officers, but we are all, most of the officers who are coming for this wonderful meeting, I can vouch that each one of us is each one of them is a wonderful human being, and Times of India has gathered this along with the stakeholders. I fully agree with this title, but by the end of this, I would expect that, the TNPCB, apart from powering, should come back to only regulating, and then instead of our presenting, we should we should become facilitators, and actual powering should be by the stakeholders. So I have full faith that you stakeholders are the people who have actually taken Tamil Nadu's vision to this far. And here I am really proud that, under the leadership of Honorable Chief Minister, we have set our targets much higher than what Government of India and India has committed internationally. Whether it is renewable energy, 50%, all very tough targets to achieve. 70% reduction in carbon emissions by 2030, promotion of EV charging infrastructure. These are all targets. And second is, we should always look and congratulate those who have achieved it. You would have seen the AVs and all. And for the purpose of saving time, I am not repeating all the important policies which our respected Additional Chief Secretary Energy has done. I would say that, we started so early. Just like Danish support, we had this windmills. Then solar, though we started a bit late, again we leapfrog. Muppanendal, if you go towards south, one shot you can see such a scenic area with almost 1,500 megawatt of windmills. Again you go to Kamudi, it's almost 1,300 megawatt of solar, though we started in Shivaganga. So we have such wonderful corridors there, and this side Palladam and Coimbatore. So these are the corridors which have propelled Tamil Nadu to be second in wind installed capacity, fourth in solar installed capacity, fourth in total RE installed capacity. And many times, this, though I am fairly new to the sector, almost 1 year, the day one when I entered, I found that, ultimately power is not the installed capacity, but what is the capacity which we can, what is realizable capacity. So we have more than 40,000 megawatt of installed capacity, but realizable by the hour it changes. So solar capacity is there during the daytime and wind during the seasons, but suddenly the wind goes off. October, November, December, we suddenly drop from 3,000 to 0 or 300 megawatt. Similarly, solar, suddenly there is a rain in Kamdi area, they will say, sir, 2000 megawatt erangiduthu. It is like a share market. When you go to TNEB's place, energy has become a market. Every 15 minutes is a slot which we have to say whether you give or you are going to take, and within the next 6 slots we need to sell. Last year, surprisingly, instead of, in addition to buying, we sold more than 700 crores in 4-5 months. So that is the angle in which when we look at, so can we just sit back on laurels and say that we are second, fourth, this? That is not the purpose of this meeting. When we talk of green horizon, I already mentioned that, Environment Secretary, all of them, they have set very, very high standards. Government at the level of Energy Department has that policy, and Honorable Chief Minister has been reiterating. This is where this meeting gains importance. All of us should understand that, you should understand our problem, we should understand your problem, and both of us should ultimately understand the grid problem. Grid is the heart and soul of energy. And that is where there is nothing like, those of you who have seen Vikram Veda Padam, zero kadayadu, onnum kadayadu. Karupum kadayadu, velupum kadayadu. You cannot take black or white. So you cannot go to the other extreme way where US now is saying zero, nothing is required. Or go to the other extreme and say everything should be green. Somewhere down the line, we need to realize that we have to promote green in a very sustainable way and ensure that things are done. That is where I think, though now we have started, battery energy storage system is going to be a game changer. Pumped energy storage system is going to be, I just went and saw Kunda project. Lot of people keep telling that, no, it was announced in 2006-07, like that and all. I wanted to tell, Kulli was announced even in 90s. But when it is over, we are going to get 500 megawatt at 2 rupees. Similarly, once pumped storage comes, daytime you generate the surplus energy, store it in the batteries and use the surplus energy to pump it back. So these are somewhere, again Tamil Nadu has leapfrogged other states silently. Tamil Nadu, I think Times of India will agree that when you look at, unlike other states, Tamil Nadu never keeps on doing, it is very self-critical. Stakeholders are critical, we are critical among ourselves. We don't generally applaud ourselves and say that we are greatest. Whether it is IT sector, whether it is no other place, you will realize that, this is a state with the highest growth rate in GDP, maximum delta growth rate, and contribution to the central GDP also, we are one of the top 3 or 4 states, but we don't tom-tom it. But behind that, what goes behind is stakeholders like you have invested. Lot of people tell me the other way around also, green energy is risky. You cannot handle it. Suddenly when it goes down, grid is affected. I always say that, when you look at the resource gap, by 2035, we may require 35,000 megawatt. We have all, I think my own colleagues who are here from 90s here all, and all of us, those who have, lived through those times, you will know the time of Mr. B. Vijayaraghavan, 80s, then early 90s, then again 2011. Always it is like, rabbit and a thing. So we have to steadily be a, non-sleeping rabbit. We cannot be a tortoise also, we cannot be a sleeping rabbit also, we have to be a non-sleeping, fast-running rabbit, otherwise we will be overtaken. The demand is exploding like anything. Last year it is X, this year it is 7% more. So we cannot simply depend only on incremental growth with only traditional thing. So we have to ensure that we put in, that is why Tamil Nadu, despite all this, has announced a coal project. That is one side, it takes a long gestation, but parallelly we have to understand that always there will be a gap. That gap has to be filled by green energy, and to make it sustainable, we have to go for various other new innovations with viability gap funding and all. And third, which I request stakeholders is, we should understand that it is, we need to sensitize people. I really feel, for Ennore, for Tuticorin, for places like, Nilgiris, for places like Mettur, they produce, everybody consumes. 10-minute power pochanaga, people are angry. But think of people, those generating spots, that has to be transmitted. And how much difficulty we have to get this line cleared. So much of generation potential is there in the south, unless it goes to Coimbatore, from Coimbatore to North India, or from North India, I have to bring it back, from Karnataka side to this corridor. People, it's a linear project. 10 kilometer I don't complete in Tirupur, I am done. 4,000 investment of that will be of no use. Virudhunagar, we have installed, government of Tamil Nadu has installed 765 megawatt. But transmission line, now we sat with Chief Secretary, spoke to Collector, ultimately we have settled that balance. But we need to, you all need to understand what is it that at a PDCL level, the challenge is. The challenge is basically to ensure that these, once the moment this transmission line is through, again I can take 2,000 megawatt more. So when we say Aral, or when you say Ottapidaram and all, so anybody wants to invest, why they want to invest, that is the area where you can generate. And unless I evacuate, that is why these green energy projects are there. So we need to sensitize people that please, you don't think that by sacrificing land for evacuating, your government is pinching you. You are socially responsible. Otherwise, if you, with the other cities which are power generators, if they start protesting and saying that, no, I will not allow you to take out power, they don't do. They're all kind people. So we need to do. And when we do that, we have to ensure that their environment doesn't get spoiled. So when we look at Ennore, we have to look at the PM, which again Tamil Nadu Pollution Control and Madam, they are looking at particulate matter. Because 2.5 micron and all, it can go up to the lungs. And you can fall sick when you look at Delhi, the challenges of Delhi. So we are all in an ecosystem where we have to look at the environment in a holistic way and not in a myopic way only from it. That is where green energy has so much of potential. And compare it, Kerala. They have equally intelligent people, but they cannot even transport that big windmills. The roads, they're so congested, they cannot, even if they have intent, they cannot do. But Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, they have potential. So we, Anish is here, we have to ensure that, and as Energy Secretary said, I can vouch for that there is no paper pending at government. If at all something is pending, it is that we have to fast track our intent and ensure that your challenges, whatever you face, let it be successive reports. We may have done with this repowering policy something, But if you feel something more can be done, we should all do. So that should be our attitude. I'm sure these wonderful panel discussions which we have will present us much more granular manner and analysis on how we can take this forward. So I personally wish that, all of us should understand that green is the future, because when you look at the kind of, because I keep traveling, sometimes even madam will go and tell chief secretary, means he will stop it, should not stop my travel. But if you go to hilly areas and then come back to Delhi and you stay for a few minutes, you will get lung problem. Not a severe lung problem, but sick people. So we need to say that green or environmental issues are not something which are very romantic or utopian issues. It is something for us to really realize that from the energy sector, because that is going to be a bread and butter, we need to be as much green as possible and make that green as sustainable as possible, so that we can take advantage of the cheaper power, sustainable power, and future again is in hydrogen, though hydrogen itself has to be powered to make it a hydrogen. Tuticorin is going to be one of the biggest hydrogen hubs. Okay, all the ship fuel also, if I am correct, Anish will know the specifics more than me. So there is so much of potential, and it is not just like our secretary was mentioning, green means we only think wind and solar. It is also micro-hydel. I have seen Kollimalai today that even 20 megawatt, but that is very critical, because in 1 second you are able to get that power, whereas in thermal when we have to generate, it takes 2 to 3 hours. Morning I back up, but to start up it takes time. Whereas this hydel gets the power within a second from here. They say that there is a dip in the grid, you need to supply, they come back online. So we have, and if somebody has time, of course, with Environment Secretary, I shouldn't risk too much of talk about Nilgiris. Nilgiris, the kind of coexistence of forest and of course our power plants are there. Of course, we need to be very, very careful that as we expand, we shouldn't, because ultimately environment will outlive all of us. So I always understand, but that produces more than 1000 megawatt of hydel power under a very closed environment and keeps on doing. That it's under a cycle. 1930 or 40 Mayar was built. 32 Paikara was built. Paikara is a Paikara, one Paikara like Bahubali, one Bahubali, two Bahubali, ultimate Bahubali. Like that there is one ultimate Paikara. Ultimate Paikara and ultimate now Kunda. It is getting over, and this side you have got Mayar. So much of beautiful things are there, but we need to submit ourselves to the regulations of environment. We need, because nature scores over everybody. Madam was telling about this. All of us have worked in tsunami. All of us have worked in environmental tragedies. We need to understand that if we challenge environment and if we don't do things in an environmental friendly manner, we will be digging our own grave. With these few words, I present a very, very positive picture that Tamil Nadu is at the cusp of going to the next stage, that is 2.0 Mari booster. We have already in second and fourth position, but if we tap it in a very intelligent way, and as stakeholders you come back to us, and even if the election period, a lot of people think model code of conduct, but on policies and deliveries we can keep working on announced things. So we all should work together to look at the horizon. That is what the title, what Madam has ideally given, is a very good thing. We should not be looking inward, we should not looking backward, but we should be looking at horizon with a utopian vision, with a belief that it will not be utopian, but it will be implementable. And for that, we depend on people who have already delivered for us, stakeholders. Thank you, one and all.
Sir, if I could just have you back on stage. Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging the stakeholders' participation, for taking on stupendous targets and marching on to achieve them, and for envisioning more green corridors in Tamil Nadu. To felicitate, sir, may I please welcome on stage Mr. S. Mayappan, General Manager, The Times of India. Thank you, sir. environment, climate change, and forests. Concepts that we learned as theory when we were kids in school have transformed into much needed dialogue today. And who better to initiate this evening other than the woman who handles this department day in and day out as Additional Chief Secretary to the government, Ms. Supriya Sahu, IAS. Ms. Sahu's hallmark is her emphasis on people-centric conservation. Village mangrove councils empower fisherfolk and women as custodians of mangroves. Mahout villages provide dignified housing and welfare for traditional elephant caretakers. The Endangered Species Fund supports scientific monitoring and recovery of lesser-known species like the slender loris, dugong, and the Nilgiri tar. She's emphasized on both ecological and social outcomes involving local communities and stakeholders and aligning the state action with national and global commitment. To this day, she has driven the plantation of more than 108 million native trees, heralded the expansion of mangroves in 14 coastal districts, notification of 8 new wildlife sanctuaries. The list truly goes on. Put your hands together for Ms. Supriya Sahu IAS, who will now deliver the keynote address.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Nayak, Mr. Mayappan, friends from the Times of India group, my colleagues, Radha, Mangat, Jayanti, I can see Anish, and Rahul, and many other colleagues, and Nimal, Anurag, everyone who's seated over here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. For these kind words, I would like to thank Times of India for giving an opportunity to all of us to come and talk about the work that is being done. It's a beautiful evening, and as we talk, I'd like you to just think about 2-3 important things. Everybody spoke about technology. My colleagues highlighted the excellent and outstanding work that is being done. But there's so much of work being done by nature, where we have no role to create what is going around us. And I keep repeating this, but I will say this again. As we are talking, I don't know how many of you would know that in coastal districts, not only in Tamil Nadu, but in other coastal districts like coastal states like Odisha, there is a magic of nature that's happening. You have hundreds and lakhs of turtles coming to nest on the shores of Tamil Nadu and elsewhere, as we are talking. As we are seated here in this room today evening, in this beautiful evening, millions of migratory birds are flying over our skies in the hope that they would come to the water bodies to nest, which the water bodies that Nimal is rejuvenating. As I'm talking to you, there are hundreds and thousands of Amur falcons. They are migrating from Siberia, coming to Nagaland, eating termites, and migrating all the way to Africa to, spend time and then come back. You know what? Flying continuously without a break 3,000 kilometers in just 30 to 38 hours. That's happening. There's so many things happening. As I'm talking to you, the world around us is moving. We can see the moving blades of the windmills. But sitting here, or even whatever we are doing, are we aware of what's happening in the world around us, under the ground, in the environment, in the skies? You can't even fathom. We don't even have, the technology to find out how these birds the GPS system that we rely on, even to go from one place to another place, to rely on the GPS map, because we can't find the addresses, how these birds find it year after year after year on these migratory pathways, the ancient pathways that have been created not by us, not by humans, but created by nature. What is our contribution? What are we doing? Are we creating something new? No, we are destroying. Rather than protecting it, which we have not created. Millions of years of pathways that have been created by nature, we are not even protecting it, we are destroying it. Plastic, pollution, we're just doing everything that these memories on our beaches, just throwing the plastic, garbage, playing loud music, ensuring that the turtles which come there on our beaches, they're not, able to nest. So at least, the least we can do is not to destroy, and at least to conserve and preserve what millions of years the nature has created. These ancient pathways, the ancient systems of nature, the purple frog in Anamalai Tiger Reserve that comes only for few days in a year, or the millions of fireflies, they will come now in the month of April and they will light up the skies in Anamalai Tiger Reserve. Or a matriarch, an elephant who will be, leading the pathway for the entire herd, for including her calves, to see to it that, she safely crosses. Can we at least do something environment we talk about to make sure that we don't destroy it? That is the ask. Is that too much to ask from us human beings? And that's why whatever we do, you have to think what you are doing to create or to protect the system that's around you. So when you generate electricity, or when you create a dam, or when you create a mega building, you need to see, what actually it is going to do to nature. That's a very important role. That's a very, what should I say? That's the work of God. And that should be very, very important. It should be done properly. Now, coming back from this emotional appeal that I spoke, it's important that we take this nature in, seriously. Because if these things disappear, even we will not be there. Human beings will not be there. You need to see this kind of a vision. You need to protect this. You need to keep this for our children, for generations to come. And that's why it is very important to do what needs to be done. As my colleagues already said, that's why under the able leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, we were able to set up India's first climate company, the Tamil Nadu Green Climate Company, a leading body. It's a Section 8 company, it's a not-for-profit company, to create that kind of a policy framework which would enable all of us, all the departments, whether it is Radha's department, Mangat's department, or it is Rahul's, or it is Jayanti's, to roll out what is the vision for the state of Tamil Nadu. There are only two things that are important in any scheme of things. One, what is your vision? And second, how do you execute it? And that's why it's important that you have the policy and you have the framework, so that the policy can stand on the framework and then it can, it can be rolled out. So, talking about the endangered species in the state of Tamil Nadu, our Chief Minister announced setting up of the Endangered Species Fund, so that even small species, which I'm sure many of you would not have seen, slender loris, could be protected. And Tamil Nadu is building India's first slender loris conservation center, which is coming up in Dindigal. We are building India's first turtle conservation center at Gindi to protect these small animals, which they play like, they are like a puzzle. They play a very important role in an ecosystem. And then Tamil Nadu has notified India's first dugong conservation reserve in the Gulf of Mannar to protect this beautiful species, dugongs. Because why? Biodiversity is important. It's like the variety of food. If you don't have, you will not survive. Biodiversity is so important. If you don't have biodiversity, you don't have our planet. So in order to protect biodiversity, it's important for us to make sure that we conserve. But how do you make sure it is connected to the environment? So do you know this? That if dugongs have to survive, the seagrass has to be there, because that's the only food that dugongs will eat. For the seagrass to be there, your climate has to be good. Because if seagrass has to thrive, the pH of that seawater has to be stable. And there are so many factors that are required. Mangroves, how it is important, for climate as well as for biodiversity. So in Tamil Nadu, we have mapped the entire coast to see to it that wherever there is a possibility for mangroves, we should be able to, plant mangroves and rejuvenate. And it is to the credit of the entire team, the army of, officers, staff, people, and the local community, that we have been able to bring 2,400 hectares of new mangroves planted and 1,200 hectares of mangroves rejuvenated. But governance or climate change is not about numbers. It's not about numbers at all. It's about the impact that you would create. So today, we have 42 People's Mangrove Councils. We're calling it as the Mangrove Councils in the villages, which is led by people, especially women. And government is supporting these mangrove councils so that the entire mangrove initiative is a people-led initiative. So wherever people lead, you succeed. Wherever there is a community action, it is sustainable. It is very, very important to engage with communities, especially with local communities. So we want in Tamil Nadu, as our Chief Minister has always given us this particular guidance, that if development has to be sustainable, it has to be people-led development for it to be sustainable. And trust me, that is what we are trying to create in Tamil Nadu. I can go on, but I'll quickly, wrap up by saying few important things that I think it's important to share. And we have a kind of a panel discussion where you will discuss more about these initiatives. But there are 4 missions in Tamil Nadu, led by Tamil Nadu Green Climate Company, which is leading the action. How? Our action is led by science and data and powered by TNPCB, yes, because it is not only a regulator, TNPCB is also a facilitator. Did you know where in India you will have a regulator who also runs at least 10 programs for facilitating industries? The green rating program that Pollution Control Board does is the first program in India which provides sustainable green rating to any industry to make them future ready. And already more than 7 industries have received the green rating and many more are in the queue. It also operates a system by which the discarded fishing net is purchased from the fishermen and paid for so that it does not land as a ghost net in our oceans. And Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board is preventing tons and tons of this discarded nets from getting into the ocean. We will soon be having a conference where we will be presenting to you the air pollution report of Tamil Nadu. We started with 4 cities in Tamil Nadu which were non-attainment cities, and which means they were not following or complying with the national standards for air pollution. Thanks to the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister and the teamwork, that number is only 1 now. There's only 1 city which is non-attaining city and all others. So in an era when you get up and you read about so much of a pollution, I think you should look at the data, which will soon be in partnership with Times of India. We'll soon be bringing the pollution data to people so that you have transparent data in front of you. And I'll close by saying that the Green Tamil Nadu mission, you saw, we have notified 100 new forests in the last 5 years in Tamil Nadu, which is more than 135 square kilometers of land being brought under greenery or under the legal protection, and also the notification of the urban greening policy, the climate change mission, which Rahul, my colleague, would be talking about, the wetland missions, having 20 Ramsar sites, the highest anywhere in India, and also the TN Shore, which is now setting up benchmarks, the kind of centers of excellence one after the other, including a migratory bird center that's going to come in Viluppuram. So one after the other, you see that, these things would be coming up, and very soon, people of Tamil Nadu will also see the work that we are doing with Kariyachali Island, which is in the Gulf of Mannar, where government of Tamil Nadu is restoring an island. The work has already begun. And these things are long-term, measures that are being taken by the government of Tamil Nadu while creating shields in, bioshields in Tuticorin, bioshields in Kadalur, and so many places. So I think it's a partnership. And our motto is building a resilient future for the people of Tamil Nadu together. And this word together and with people, that is something which should resonate, whether it is energy, security, whether it is sustainability or circularity, or whether it is biodiversity connection with climate change. You cannot separate biodiversity and climate change because the life depends upon each other. And if climate is not stable, and it is impossible for us to protect our biodiversity. So I just want to say that here, I think Tamil Nadu is definitely, government is building a climate resilient future for these people of Tamil Nadu, and that is such an exciting, area of work for all of us. I think this is the time when we have an opportunity convert the adverse impact of climate change into an opportunity, and together we shall, I'm sure. And I want to once again thank Times of India. By the way, this slogan is not given by me, it's given by the Times of India team. I don't want to take the credit for that. The credit goes to them. And I think the entire, the way they have designed the entire discussion, the sessions, it is truly impressive, and I'm sure the message would certainly reach people. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for your patient listening, and when you step out after the session gets over, think about what I told you when I started, that everything that you do has an impact. So think and then do. Nandri.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to have to trouble you to get you back on stage, ma'am. Thank you for emphasizing the promise of passion and consistency when it comes to nature sensitivity. Olive ridley turtles are an inherent part of my growing up here in South Chennai, so I really look forward to learning more and doing more. Thank you so much for inspiring me once again. To felicitate ma'am, may I please call upon stage Mr. Manigandan Nair from the Times of India. And with that, we quickly move to the next part of the evening. Could we dim the lights and set up for our first panel discussion? As we embark into the next chapter for the evening, it's time for our first panel discussion, and the topic is Energy Transition, the Importance of Green Power. To share their thoughts and ideas, please invite on stage our three eminent panelists. Firstly, Dr. Anish Shekhar, IAS, Managing Director, Tamil Nadu Green Energy Corporation Limited. He is driving Tamil Nadu's clean energy agenda with a uniquely practical perspective on how energy transition intersects with industry, infrastructure, and on-ground execution. Please have a seat, sir. In his current role, he focuses on large-scale renewable deployment, grid integration, and institutional frameworks for energy storage. Please put your hands together and welcome our first panelist. Our second panelist for the evening, Mr. A.R. Rahul Nath, IAS Director of the Department of Environment and Climate Change, Government of Tamil Nadu. He has led several transformative initiatives, but one that hits close to home would be this. Our very own Kovalam Beach in Chengalpet earned the prestigious Blue Flag certification. This is an international recognition for environmental and sustainable beach management. He also brought global acclaim to Tamil Nadu through the resounding success of the 44th Chess Olympiad held in Mahabalipuram. Thank you for joining us today. And our next panelist, Mr. Dinesh Arjun, co-founder and CEO of Rapti, already committed to the path of e-vehicles with fast solutions. His company marks the birth of high-voltage electric two-wheelers in India that are flexible enough to recharge at car stations, or as they call it, India's first motorcycle with electric car DNA. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. And to moderate this panel, may we invite Mr. G. Balachandar, Chief of Business Bureau, The Times of India. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Hello. Am I audible? Yes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for your participation. Very important subject, topical subject, as indicated by ma'am. So the agenda is like this. I will pose few questions to each member. All of them, of course, come from a different segments, but the ultimate, the goal is the decarbonization and environment-related areas. So then we'll open the floor for questions. So quickly on this, today I had a report from McKinsey saying that, a decade after Paris climate, the companies have set net zero targets, energy efficiency targets. In the last decade, there are 2 points they've highlighted. On the negative side, it's a slowing, the consumption is increasing, and emissions levels have risen by 9% since 2015. The positive side is emission per unit of GDP is coming down, so which means the energy efficiency is increasing, so which is a good thing. So there are in two areas I would like to break. In terms of decarbonizations, we are making very good progress in energy area. Renewable energy is making very good impact, and we are seeing impressive progress there. Though the supply chain area is still work in progress. So I would like to start on the energy side to Mr. Anish Shekhar. The major initiative we saw recently was the unbundling and the formation of Green Energy Corporation to spearhead the renewable energy progress in the state. How has been the journey? Has the new green energy entity taken off? How is it, powering the growth and renewable energy growth in the state? Would like to hear from you.
Thank you for the question, and also I thank Times of India for having us as one of the partners in this very well curated event. And coming to your question about how we have been successful or how we have gone about this energy transition journey over the last 1.5 years or 2 years since we came into existence. In 24 February is when this company was formed with the single-handed or a single-minded vision of powering the energy transition for the state. So when it comes to transition, there are two verticals in which we see transition. One is, of course, energy efficiency, which is mostly a little forgotten or a little less glamorized when it comes to the two heads under the transition. So energy efficiency is an important vertical because every energy saved is something that we can avoid generating. So in that way, energy efficiency has been one of our important pillars. And another is, of course, RE integration. So RE integration, there were challenges which were not addressable 2 years back. But today, everybody started speaking about storage. So that has given us hope that this transition is going to happen. And transition, we all started looking at transition because of two major issues. One is that 75% of the carbon emissions come from fossil fuels. From the energy generation. Another, of course, is that the fossil fuels are limited. You cannot forever use them. So we needed to go for renewable sources. So with this intention, transition started. And now with the kind of storage and the kind of prices that is getting discovered for storage, it has become an economically the best alternative going forward as well. So this gives me the courage to tell you that energy transition today looks more probable and more realistically achievable by 2030 and maybe in another decade or 2 decades down the line. At least the electricity sector should come to net zero. So we are very confident of driving this and achieving the goals for the state.
Great. When we talk about renewable energy in Tamil Nadu, without wind energy, the story is incomplete because we are the pioneer in wind energy. We were leading in wind energy, but there was some setback, a couple of years ago. Other states are also catching up. I believe Tamil Nadu has taken a lot of steps to do the catch-up, and particularly the rewiring policy with recent amendments I think is directed towards that. I know there are some unique challenges you face because most of the generating units are in southern districts, whereas the peak demand is in northern districts. And the transmission is a big challenge. Any renewable energy transition, generation transmission plays a vital role. If I see the latest data, I think most of the budget related to transmission happens in only very few states. How is Tamil Nadu catching up in terms of transmissions, infrastructure to evacuate the renewable energy we generate? Would be, yeah.
So you're right. When it comes to renewable energy, the generation is more in certain pockets, especially in the southern part of Tamil Nadu. And there are various reasons towards that. One is the potential lies there. For example, wind passes lie in the southern part of Tamil Nadu. That is one reason. Another reason is that we are a very, very price-sensitive market. India is a very price-sensitive market when it comes to power. So we will be willing to procure only the cheapest source of renewable power. Even when it is renewable power, we want the cheapest source of renewable power. So what happens is that people tend to put their power plant where the cost of land, which is one of the commodities that is required for production of power, is the least, which is again in southern part of Tamil Nadu. So this has made the scenario like almost 75% of my RE generation happens in southern part of Tamil Nadu. But my demand, my load centers are more in the west and even more in the northern part of Tamil Nadu. So the corridor of transmission is always a challenge, but we have done quite well. We are one of the only states which has a 765 kV level network of its own. So we have been continuously adding transmission. If you ask me, that is the permanent solution? No, may not be. That may not be the ideal solution also, because even transmission has its own challenges when it comes to getting right of way. It has its own challenges when it comes to getting other people's livelihood affected, etc. So it is more the strategy which we propose to have going ahead is to have more generation close to consumption sources by promoting smaller solar units ground mounted and even rooftop solar. So along with distributed storage plus generation more locally. So that is one way in which we think that we can overcome this transmission challenge. Of course, we cannot add infinite transmission. So we have to make sure that generation also happens near consumption areas in order to overcome this challenge.
I know, as Dr. Radhakrishnan highlighted, the trend is towards storage. We are seeing around-the-clock RTC tenders being floated across the country. How is Tamil Nadu is progressing there? How is the storage shaping up in Tamil Nadu? I know we are working on this pumped storage project. BESS is also being considered. So how is Tamil Nadu is progressing in that?
So as you said, as other our respected seniors also spoke, the storage is having a lot of importance when we are talking about RE integration. Because RE is seasonal, RE is intermittent, so we have to store it and use it when it is required. So that's why storage is very important. So there are only two technologies which have proven at a grid level which we can use for storage. One is pump storage, wherein you pumped it up in the morning and then use it during night when you need the power. So that already we have success in Tamil Nadu, in Kadampare. Another is Kunda, which is under implementation. So we have few other projects also lined up in pump storage. But pump storage has also got its own challenges, because most of this pump storage happens in forest, environmentally sensitive regions. So that also has its own environmental sensitivities associated, which causes its own, it requires that much more closer examination before we go for that project. The timelines of such projects execution is a little long, around 6 years it takes to execute. But still we see that as an important source of storage, because we cannot just depend on one technology which will not be suiting our objectives. So we are going for pump storage also in a graded manner. Other than that, of course, battery storage is the keystone now with the kind of tenders that the prices that we are discovering. We already completed 1,000 megawatt hours. We got good rates. We completed the next tender of 1,500 megawatt hours. We got even better rates. Today, the cost of storage, that means cost of storing 1 unit of power, has come down almost to 3 rupees. Almost to 3 rupees. So if you add solar and storage, it is around 5.5 to 6 rupees for peak power, which otherwise was costing in the exchange around 9 rupees or 10 rupees. With solar and storage, the peak prices are going to come down gradually in the future, and that will help me stop running the other sources of energy, coal-based energy, which is the leading cause of the carbonization.
Great, thank you. Now I would like to move to Mr. Nath. I know industry department must be stealing the thunder from all others, but as Mr. Sahu pointed out, there are a lot of initiatives being taken by the environment department. Lots of mission active initiatives. I think lots of which she highlighted.
First of all, I'd like to start with this Tamil Nadu climate change mission under Sustain Tamil Nadu. You would like to highlight some of the unique, initiatives. I know it's a long game, but some of the unique initiatives that will, result in a short-term, medium-term, tangible outcomes. What would those be?
Thank you. First of all, thank you for Times of India for having me. As you rightly mentioned, as ACS ma'am has already mentioned, there are four spearheading missions under TNGCC where we are achieving the climate resilient Tamil Nadu. One of which is, of course, the Tamil Nadu Climate Change Mission, where one of the first schemes which we started was having the Chief Minister's Green Fellow in every district. So that was a youth involvement program where we believe that the youth should be empowered, youth should be involved in all our decarbonization and sustainable activities. I'm happy to say that this is the second phase of the CM Green Fellowship program which is happening. Most of the first fellows have either been successfully completed and joined the different government departments, or they're working with various other stakeholders globally as well as in Delhi and other metros. One of the other schemes which we in the climate change mission has rolled out is the Green School scheme, wherein close to 300 schools were given a seed fund of around 20 lakh rupees, wherein the green energy activities, activities like water conservation, solid waste management, the gardens, the vegetable gardens, etc., were cultivated. And I'm happy to, inform you all that a recent study by the Indian Institute of Human Settlement in Bangalore, where it was recorded that around 46% of the energy consumption of these green school, was achieved. So imagine we are almost 50% of the energy through the solarization of the schools could be achieved. So imagine if we further expand the scheme to the entire 50,000 odd schools in Tamil Nadu. It will be, as Anish said, it will be a wonderful transition towards the green energy. Some of the other schemes which we are currently undertaking is, of course, the climate resilient villages, wherein we have started the first climate resilient village in the country, which is the Killay in the Pichavaram. Also, we are on the implementation of 4 carbon neutral hubs. Of course, Tamil Nadu has this ambitious target of achieving decarbonization before the national target. So 4 districts which are Ooty, Nilgiris, Coimbatore, Virudhunagar and Ramanathapuram, which were piloted for this decarbonization carbon neutral hub districts. And I'm happy to say that we have already rolled out few schemes in Virudhunagar district, and all the decarbonization pathways have been released. This is one of those path-breaking initiatives. Some other initiatives were like Sustain TN, where we fund some of our startups, and we have partnered with IIT Madras. Most of this, we have got an overwhelming response of around 370 startups participating, and we have selected around 10. We have mentored them. The first tranche of 5 lakh rupees has been distributed to them. IIT Madras and the Tamil Nadu Climate Change Mission are further in talks with the startup TN and other venture capitalists to kind of take forward this ideas. There are many more initiatives like the green indexing of the districts of Tamil Nadu. We are also doing the retrofitting of the government hospitals in Tamil Nadu to make it more climate resilient and sustainable. So there are many more activities which we are undertaking as a part of the.
What are you taking it from all those startups and all those business models? Are you looking at any kind of innovative models, or what exactly you are taking? You are engaging them for.
See, what we found out was there is a lot of scope. There's a lot of scope in engaging the technologies, especially when it comes to clean energy, when it comes to waste circularity, when it comes to many more water conservation and all those things. Even in EFLU, the afforestation of afforestation and reforestation. So, but many of these young startups were finding it very difficult to get funding, to get a mentor. So, Sustain TN is one such initiative wherein we have kind of, started seed funding all of them to make them, have an accessibility to some of these technologies, especially the IIT Madras Research Park, which is actually helping them in doing that. And finally to, bring it into a full-fledged, from a startup to a full-fledged kind of an industry. That's
Interesting points. Ms. Sagu hinted about this Tamil Nadu Green Climate Company. What is it intended for? What are you trying? I know it's one of its unique initiatives. What is it for? What are you, trying to achieve in the short term? Any details on that?
See, as Pam said, Tamil Nadu Green Climate Company, where we have actually found out that there are many departments who are doing, like energy department is doing a lot of work. The municipal administration department is doing a lot of work on solid waste management. The transport department is doing a lot of work on electric mobility and so on and so on. But there was, all of them were working in a silos. We wanted to bring everything under one roof. So one of the first things which we did in TNGCC was to formulate something called the Chief Minister's Governing Council. So we are the probably the first state in the country to have a governing council on climate change, where we have it is chaired by the Honorable Chief Minister, and we have sector experts like Mr. Montek Singh Ahluwalia, Mr. Nandan Nilekani, Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, and many more, who will be giving a policy direction. And TNGCC will be an anchoring point where, all these different departments and their policies will be aligned. This is number one. And second, as ma'am has already mentioned, that there are 4 very important missions through which we would, bring about this climate resilient Tamil Nadu, which are the climate change mission, the wetland mission, the green Tamil Nadu mission, and the recently launched TN Shore, which is the coastal, restoration mission. Apart from this, TNGCC is also an apex policy body where we review different internationally best practices. We also get involved with a lot of our partners, especially our partner organization like UNEP, partner organization like ADB or World Bank, or different international and national, institutions and organizations, and we we learn from a lot of those best practices. We try to, even guide some of the departments in achieving their decarbonization pathway. So,
yeah, very good initiative. All the best to you.
Thank you.
Dinesh, I would like to come to you. I know you're also in the same decarbonization way in some way. Just start with the recent developments only. Are all the issues, concerns behind owning an electric two-wheeler? Concerns, doubts around owning a two-wheeler behind now? I believe there was concerns after the new battery norms came. Things improved. So if you see the latest numbers also, the electric two-wheeler adoption is increasing. What do you have to say? Is it, or are people are really interested in buying this electric two-wheeler? Electric mobility, how is it shaping up?
No, sure. No, first of all, thank you so much. Thanks, Times, for having me part of such a panel. Now, I think there are 2 parts to this, right? One is regulation, how the product actually performs, and then the other side is also perception of the product itself. And on one side, I think the government, the state and the center have done a phenomenal job of kind of removing the first side of the problem. Again, we had a range of issues. 2022, I think, was probably the worst year for electric two-wheelers and electric vehicles in general in India. We had a lot of catastrophic issues, explosions that came in. But I think if I were to be very honest, I think what the government was in overall trying to do is essentially promote electric vehicle adoption, and without the guardrails that might have kind of missed a little bit. But today, as it stands, specifically for two-wheelers, right, we have something called AIS 156, which is the standard that every electric two-wheeler OEM has to kind of pass before they can put a two-wheeler on the road is the strictest standard for electric two-wheeler batteries in the world, right? To the extent that you can possibly say if the new standards are followed, theoretically a battery to kind of catch fire and explode is not even possible. But that said, that's only part of the problem. The damage has already been made. You had a lot of players come in, you had unfortunate incidents that happened. Today, the first question most people who are not used to the industry or have no exposure, direct exposure to the industry, ask me is, what is the assurance that this doesn't,
Catch fire.
Yeah, and it's not just about convincing the person who's buying it, but today the problem is worse than that, right? Like the minute I live in an apartment, I have an electric car. My homeowner association comes up and says, you cannot charge these cars in the apartment. And that becomes a bigger challenge, right? So perception is what we're trying to address, and I think that's the most important problem here. So to answer your question, absolutely not. That clarity for EV adoption to kind of happen has not come in, has not set in yet, and a big problem for that, or the biggest kind of issue there is perception, and there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done to create awareness in that. I think one of the initiatives, I think in the most recent EV policy from Tamil Nadu as well, is that if you have a certain number of houses in an apartment, you're forced to have charging stations, which is a step in the right direction. Also, one thing about the Tamil Nadu EV policy also is that it doesn't push anybody towards a standard or a particular manner. It's more of kind of choose your own and pushing general EV adoption and not particularly any range of motorcycles or scooters or cars, which is a good thing. So I think steps are being taken, but I think we're far from where we want to be.
I understand, this charging is an issue, and if you live in an apartment, particularly in all the urban centers. I somehow wanted to, have a, view that, rural could have taken off in a big way. Because every rural, I think, space won't be an issue for them. Of course, in some places, availability of electricity is maybe an issue. But what is your take? Is rural the right place for electric vehicles to take off in a big way? What is your view on that?
Absolutely, and actually numbers are saying that as well, right? If you look at electric two-wheeler adoption, tier 2 cities and tier 3 cities are the places where you're seeing incremental growth. Where specifically because, again, electric vehicles today, at least when it comes to two-wheelers, are more focused on scooters and not motorcycles, which motorcycles, for many don't know, are actually twice the size of the scooter industry. So if you're only electrifying scooters, you're only electrifying about 30% of the two-wheeler market. Motorcycles are the 70% of the market, and that's what we're trying to solve. But given that right now we only have electric scooters in the industry, tier 2, tier 3 cities are actually seeing a lot more are the drivers for that incremental adoption, right? Today, most cities have already started. We're at about 22-23% adoption when it comes to electric scooters. That means you're already hitting a reasonable amount of, lack of a better word, saturation when it comes to rate of adoption with electric scooters in cities. So the new areas that are opening up are tier 2, tier 3 cities, which are really fueling adoption here on.
Okay. Just one last question. As we, getting into the electric mobility, the recycling system is also essential. Tamil Nadu has also come out with a recycling policy recently. How is that shaping up? Well, we have such system in the ICE batteries in the ICE vehicles. Or we are still in fledgling stage, or how is it shaping up from your perspective?
Sure. See, I think the battery recycling problem is a little bit more complicated. Today, I don't think, though there needs to be regulation and there needs to be centers to kind of start working on battery recycling, I don't think we're anywhere close to reaching critical mass for even one single center to work, right? The way we need to be really looking at battery recycling is completely different. We've been having real electric two-wheelers and three-wheelers and four-wheelers the last 3-4 years. If you look at really good quality products that are hitting the market, three-wheelers, two-wheelers, four-wheelers, these vehicles with the right chemistry, with the right products, have a minimum battery life of about 8 to 10 years, right? And 8 to 10 years, when you talk about battery life, it's about the batteries being fit for mobility use in that 8 to 10 years. And then you have secondary use cases like, everybody spoke about BESS, where these cells and these batteries can be used again for another 8 to 10 years in stationary storage, which then, or rather static applications, which then increase the life of the battery before it goes into a recycling center for about 20 years. So realistically, we're at least 17 years away from seeing any sort of critical mass for any recycling center to work. Now, I think the problem here is also kind of telling people that batteries can last that long. If you start talking about recycling, then the next fear for customers is that, okay, so how often do I need to replace my battery packs? That then again slows down adoption. So I think it's a chicken and egg situation, like any new technology that comes up. But I think the focus really needs to be on adopting the right chemistries, adopting the right cells, focusing on selling good products rather than focusing on end-of-life solutions, because we're not even getting started.
Yeah, you're right. There is no proper system as of now. But some research, initial research, outcomes have indicated that the recovery part is very huge. I think some of the companies have recovered very well from the batteries, actually.
Absolutely. See, again, it depends on chemistries. You have various chemistries going in, for any sort of recycling to happen, you need homogeneous input stock. For that to happen, again, you need to have a certain amount of cells that come out of these vehicles and then going into the input stock of these recycling centers. But yes, you're right. Let's just making it very simple. If, let's say, you have a petrol-powered motorcycle, it works for 10 years, and then you have to scrap it. You scrap it for metal costs, you possibly recover 2,000, 3,000 rupees of money, because it's just usually aluminum, little bit of aluminum and a lot of steel, right? If you look at electric vehicles, let's say an equivalent 1 lakh rupee electric motorcycle, after 10 years, you recycle it, there's a lot more expensive material that can be recovered from that. The catch, or the good thing about this is materials like nickel, cobalt, magnesium is a lot easier to be recovered out of a cell than from the mine itself. So that's salvage value that will then come back into resale price, that will then drive sales of electric vehicles. But like I said, we're just at the beginning of the adoption curve for adoption to kind of kick in. People need to start buying second-hand vehicles, and then people need to be scrapping electric vehicles, and then that salvage value will come in. So it's going to take at least 7 years, but it's about explaining that part and not explaining the recycling part is the problem here. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, good point. I think now we can open the floor for any questions. If anyone has questions, please post your questions to the panelists if you have any questions. Yeah. Can somebody give him a mic?
Hello. Sir, I have a small question. Am I audible?
Yes, go ahead. Where are you?
Yeah, I have a small question.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm in auto industry.
Who are you asking this? Who are you posing this question to?
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm in auto industry. We are talking about that fossil fuels. So in that subject, we are in the stage of BS6 now. We are in the stage of BS6, but BS4 vehicles are there, held up with the dealerships. They are not allowing to register, but they are, the old vehicles are still running with diesel and other this thing. How is it possible? No, like we have attained to the stage of BS6, but how can we allow a older vehicle more than 15 years or 20 years still running and polluting the environment? I could not understand this.
Sir, we have scrappage policy for certain segments. If you take trucks, there is a scrappage policy. So every segment has got some policy measures to, scrap these vehicles by providing incentives and all. So I'm sure there are measures to discard these. Only thing is, it is not enforced. It is not.
Yes.
It has not been made mandatory. So, but there are norms to discard old vehicles. Dinesh, you would like to add?
No, absolutely. See, again, I think it's an amazing question. It's true. But the problem here is, again, the government is now, the government is going to start forcing you to not use the vehicle that you already own, right? So that's a bigger problem than vehicles that have not been sold. There's still something that can be done for vehicles that are not sold. So I think it's a double-edged sword, right? Yeah, we want vehicle scrappage policy to come in because you have you exactly stated. But if somebody were to kind of come to your house and say you have a vehicle that's more than 15 years old, I'm going to take it away just because it's polluting. You're not going to agree to it. So I think there are policies that are coming in. It's being enforced in CVs now, and then slowly over to other segments. But I think it's a little bit difficult to enforce. And I think the other way that the government is also looking at it is at least ensure that the vehicles that are coming out of the showrooms are not bad. Yeah.
No, I am seeing, sir, in Delhi.
Sir, we're really running short of time. We'll take
Sorry,
one question.
Yeah. It's okay.
The rest we can do it offline.
Thank you so
Please
much.
go ahead.
Hello, sir. I'm Vivek from Chennai OMR, environment activist. சார் ரீசெண்டாக மேம் கூட ராம்சார் லேண்ட் பற்றி சொல்லிட்டு போயிட்டாங்க. நம்ம ஓஎம்ஆர் பள்ளிக்கரணையில் ராம்சார் லேண்ட் இருக்குது, உங்கள் எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும். ஸோ அதில் பிரிகேடுங்கிற ஒரு கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் மார்கன்கிற ஒரு பில்டிங் பில்ட் பண்ணி இப்போ சார் நான் பேசி முடிச்சிடறேன். கோர்ட் வந்து ஹால் பண்ணி வச்சுருக்காங்க. 2 தடவை அதை வந்து அதை பேன் பண்ணி அந்த டைமை எக்ஸ்டெண்ட் பண்ணி கோர்ட் இப்போ ஹால் பண்ணி அண்டர் ரிவ்யூவில் இருக்குது. அது சப்மிட் பண்ணுறதுக்காக கிரவுண்ட் ரிப்போர்ட் சப்மிட் பண்ணுறதுக்காக வெயிட்டிங்கில் இருக்குது. மேபி இப்போ ஜட்மெண்ட் பாசிட்டிவாக கூட இருக்கலாம். ஏன்னா அந்த கேஸ்க்காக தமிழ்நாடு கவர்மெண்ட் அந்த பிரிகேட் கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் சேர்ந்து தான் ஃபைட் பண்ணுறாங்க. ஆப்போசிட்டில் ஆக்டிவிஸ்ட்லாம் இருக்காங்க, ஏன்னா அவங்க ரூலை பிரேக் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. சென்னை மாதிரியான இருக்க ஒரு அர்பன் சிட்டியில் மழை வெள்ள பாதிப்புகள் ரொம்ப அதிகமாக இருக்குது. ஸோ அதில் வந்து இந்த மாதிரி பகுதிகளில் சாதாரண மக்களை அப்புறப்படுத்துகிறதும் இந்த மாதிரி ப்ரீமியம் செக்மெண்ட் டைப் ஆஃப் கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷனை அலோவ் பண்ணுறதும் தொடர்ந்து ஒரு பிரச்சனையாக போயிட்டுருக்கு. இதை பற்றி ஒரு பதில் கண்டிப்பாக நீங்கள் கொடுக்கணும் சார். அப்புறம் வந்து இந்த பர்டிகுலர் வெட்லேண்ட்ஸ் வந்து டோட்டலி 1250 ஹெக்டேர்ஸ்க்கு மேலே இருக்குது. இதில் 38% ஆல்ரெடி ஆக்குபை பண்ணியிருக்கு, அது லீகலாகவும் இல்லீகலாகவும். இந்த பிரிகேட் கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன் 14 ஏக்கர், இதில் டோட்டலாக 1400 யூனிட்ஸ் வருது. ஜட்மெண்ட்டே அவங்களுக்கு பாசிட்டிவாக வந்தால் கூட ரீசெண்டாக வந்த வெள்ளத்தில் கூட அந்த பிரிகேட் கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷனோட காம்பவுண்டில் தண்ணி டச் பண்ணுச்சு. அந்த மார்ஷ்லேண்டோட வாட்டர் வந்து அதை டச் தான் பண்ணுச்சு. மேபி நீங்கள் இருக்க பொசிஷனில் அடுத்து வந்து மேபி அடுத்த ஆஃபீஸர் கூட வரலாம். ஆனால் யாருமே அந்த பெரும்பாக்கம் பகுதியில் இருக்கீங்களான்னு தெரியலை. எங்கள் வீடு அங்கே தான் இருக்குது. இந்த இஷ்யூ நாங்கள் ரெகுலராக பார்த்துக்கிட்டு தான் இருக்கோம். ஸோ இது வந்து சார் ராதாகிருஷ்ணன் சார் கூட சொன்னார் ஸ்டேக் ஹோல்டராக இருக்கணும். மேபி நாங்கள் சிஸ்டமில் இருக்க சப்ஜெக்டாக இருக்கோம்னு நான் நினைக்கிறேன். அடிஷ்னல் செக்ரட்டரி சார் மங்கேஷ் சர்மா சார் கூட சொன்னாங்க அந்த டாபிக் க்ரீன் ஹரிசான்ங்கிற டைட்டில் ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்குன்னு. மேக்ஸிமம் இந்த மாதிரி டைட்டில்லையும் பப்ளிஷ் பண்ணுற பேப்பர்ஸ்லையும் ஏவிஸ்லையும் நம்ம சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்ஷன் அடையலாம். ஆனால் இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு பிரச்சனைகள் வந்து அந்த ஈகோசிஸ்டம் என்ன நடக்குதில்ல, அனுமதியும் கொடுக்குறோம் அப்புறமும் படுத்துகிறோம். ஸோ கண்டிப்பாக இதுக்கு நீங்கள் கொஞ்சம் பேசினா நல்லாயிருக்கும் சார். தேங்க்யூ
சார். இது கொஞ்சம் யூ கேன் டேக் இட் ஆஃப்லைன் சார். லெட்ஸ் ஸ்டிக் டு திஸ் சப்ஜெக்ட். இது வந்து திஸ் கேன் பி டிஸ்கஸ் செப்பரேட்லி. ஸோ ஐம் சாரி, we are running short of time. You can take it offline, please.
Hello, sir. Myself, Selvanathan. My company name is RTS Evergreen Export. We are making panel. So my question is, இப்போ வந்துட்டு pumping system சொல்லியிருந்தீங்க இல்லைங்களா? You are talking about pumping system. There is a BIS and other hydro pumping. So why you are not focusing on biogas? So biogas also is alternative. We can make generate electricity. We are think about it. And one more question is, I want to buy the electrical vehicle, but I couldn't. Why? So I travel supposed to 100 kilometers away from that. But if I cross that 20%, when it's reach, I supposed to put charge.
Sir, don't mistake me. You can discuss with Dinesh personally. We can ask Mr. Shekhar to answer on this biogas thing. We'll ask him. We'll definitely.
சார் ஆக்சுவலி சார் அவர் லேக் மேன் ஆஃப் இந்தியாவாக இருக்க டெல்டா கிங் நிமல் ராகவன், அட்லீஸ்ட் அவருக்காவது ஒரு ஆர்ம்டு ப்ரொடக்ஷன் கொடுங்க சார். அவர் 250 லேக்ஸ் மேலே இந்தியா முழுக்க ரீஸ்டோர் பண்ணியிருக்காரு. அவருக்கு நிறைய மிரட்டல்கள் வந்துட்டு இருக்கு, அதையாவது பண்ணுங்க
சார். He is going to talk in the next session, sir.
Okay,
please. So Mr. Shekhar, you can say something.
Yeah, biogas is also something that we promote mainly to connect to the gas grid, not for electricity generation. Because when you look at sources of energy, you should also look at how best it can be utilized. Because there is something called conversion losses. So if I burn gas and get electricity out of it, there is significant loss that happens. But if I connect it to a gas grid, like there is a grid for gas, there is a compressed natural gas grid, and these biogas plants are connected to this gas grid, they will be used in industries which use gas otherwise, like in fertilizers and many other industries which use gas. Gas as a source of power is not something that is very viable in our country because the cost of power is much, much higher, and gas also is polluting. And biogas itself, the percentage of biogas out of the total gas ecosystem is less than 0.5%. Even if you fully utilize the potential also, it will be somewhere around 2 to 3%. Our target is to reach 5% at some point in the blending of biogas. So satisfying our energy requirements with biogas is little difficult, but we can best use by connecting it to the gas grid, which is what we are doing. So biogas is not forgotten. It is best used in the way it creates maximum output.
Thank you, sir. I think that's the end of this session. We will have to go for the next session. Thank you, panelists, each one of you, Mr. Nath, Mr. Shekhar, Dinesh, thank you, thank you so much for your wonderful thoughts.
Thank you. Please remain on stage. I'd like to request Mr. Manigandan Nair and Mr. Mayappan from the Times of India to felicitate our panelists. What an insightful discussion. Here are my top takeaways. The importance of transmission of renewable energy to northern parts of Tamil Nadu, cracking feasible solutions or workarounds to overcome that challenge. Environmentally sensitive means of storing energy that's also cost effective. Creating holistic initiatives to not just fund research, but also have mentors guide them through it and lean on like-minded people around the world to share best practices. And of course, how Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities could be the champions of e-mobility adoption. A big round of applause for our panelists, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I'd like to retain just the panelists for a photo op. Thank you. Could we dim the lights and add another chair for the second panel discussion? Now, we come to the question of how we can create a greener environment in an inclusive, engaging, and impactful manner. To moderate this panel discussion, we'd like to call upon, again, Mr. G. Balachandar, Chief of Business Bureau, The Times of India. And let me also call upon our panelists for the second panel discussion today, Mr. Anurag Mishra, IFS Special Secretary, Environment, Climate Change, and Forest Department. He has led so many policies. In fact, I recently came across an Instagram reel where he sheds light on why notifying 100 new reserve forests is a landmark for Tamil Nadu's biodiversity and climate resilience, and also how this will impact the surrounding villages, the security of water, soil stability, better crop yield. It's such a practical take. I would really like to invite you on stage now, sir. Please come up on stage. Put your hands together for him, gentlemen. Dr. Jayanti Burli, IFS Chairperson of Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board. She holds a PhD in agriculture econometrics, from soil science and forestry to in-depth research on environmental degradation, water pollution, and willingness to pay for conservation of urban wetlands. She has a holistic take on sustainability. Please join us on stage, ma'am. Mr. Nimal Raghavan, founder of Mega Foundations. They drive sustainable development through lake restoration, afforestation, and community-focused initiatives. His initiatives spread across 17 districts in Tamil Nadu, 15 states in India, and he's also managed to restore lakes in African countries now. Please give him a big round of applause. And Ms. Kalpana Manivannan, founder and CEO of Kalpavriksha Farms. They help you reconnect with nature via workshops, online courses, farm visits, etc. Her Teach Farming in Schools initiative aims at taking organic farming to school children to bring a positive shift in the perspective about farming and clean food in young minds. Over to you, Bala sir. Take it away.
Hello. Thank you, each one of you. Thanks for participating in our meeting. I'd like to start with Mr. Mishra, sir. I just wanted to want you to highlight on how Green Tamil Nadu mission is addressing the rapid urbanization and industrialization related challenges. How are you taking it forward?
Thank you very much, Times of India, for bringing me to this green horizon, and thanks a lot for inviting me. So, as Green Tamil Nadu mission was launched in some 4 years back in 2022. It is one of the flagship mission of government of Tamil Nadu, and it has got only one objective, which is having green cover to the extent of 33% of geographical area of Tamil Nadu. No other objective. This is the only objective with which the GTM, in short we call it as a GTM, was launched. And apart from greening in hinterland and in forest area, right from the beginning the focus was on urban area, industrial area, and abatement of pollution through greening. And I'm happy to announce that till date we have planted some 22 crores seedlings across Tamil Nadu, and the focus of course is to do away with the impact of climate change and have a very good climate for citizen. And I think in the film, as well as Madam also told about that, we have launched recently, a week back only, we launched this urban green policy.
Yeah.
So earlier our steps in greening of urban areas was very not very directed. With the launch of this policy, our action will be quite focused, and this trees, park, wetland, which they all will be brought under this with urban planning will take care of all these three components of urban greening. And apart from this, I think Pollution Control Board has launched some 1,000 Kurungaduhal, that is 1,000 micro forests across state. And this has been done just inside the premises of all these pollution causing industries, so that at the source itself the carbon dioxide can be absorbed. And let me clarify, this is apart from, this is not part of the greening norms which normally Pollution Control Board is specified for this red or this 17 category of industry. It is extra, this 1,000, and if memory serves right, in the film it was mentioned as 12 lakhs trees have been planted across this thing. And apart from terrestrial thing, I think mangroves also have been given a lot of importance. And Madam has already, ACS has already told about that some 36 square kilometer of afforestation and restoration has been done for mangrove also. And just wanted to tell you that our mangrove cover, as per the India State of Forest report, which is the authentic document to know what is the extent of green cover in Tamil Nadu or in our country. So as per that, we have got only around 42 square of kilometer of mangrove. And with this massive effort, maybe in another 5 or 6 years, this 36 square kilometer which we have planted up to now, and maybe future also will be planting mangrove. So in the next 4 or 5 years, it will not be, I'm not exaggerating, I think our mangrove cover may double.
Okay, so there was an interesting study shared by your department on, the carbon storing social ecosystem, such as mangroves, salt marshes, and seagrass meadows.
Yeah.
What exactly is that? Could you highlight a bit on that?
Yeah.
How is it going to help?
Yeah, a lot of stats are there. I don't remember the stats, but now whatever off the cuff I remember, I will tell. So if you compare this terrestrial ecosystem and this aquatic ecosystem, which you mentioned, this mangrove, the salt marshes, as well as seagrass, on an average, the carbon sequestration rate is almost 10 times faster. In case of aquatic or this blue resources. And compared to land, per square area of land, 3 to 5 times more carbon is sequestered in case of mangrove. And as I already told about mangrove, we have done a lot of emphasis was given on mangrove. Lot many things have been done. In the future also, lot many things will be done. And we have taken the seagrass also. Earlier it was a neglected activity. Seagrass restoration we have taken in Gulf of Mannar as well as Park Bay. And it is a evolving technique. There is no standard technique. For tree planting, techniques are standard. But for this seagrass restoration, it is evolving. Let me give you one example how it is evolving. I think earlier we were using this plastic pipe for planting this seagrass. But when one of the discussion, somebody told plastic pipes are, again it will release microplastic in the environment. Why you people are using plastic pipes? So now we have started, somebody is using this bamboo instead of plastic. And all this coastal area, this casuarina is in good number. Casuarina we are using. There are some disadvantages with casuarina, but as we go ahead, techniques are being involved and we are using. And this salt marshes, earlier it was regarded as wasteland. But now, as I told, the carbon sequestered is around 3 to 5 times than tree or terrestrial ecosystem. So all these areas have been mapped with high resolution satellite imagery as well as aerial high resolution aerial photography. And we are making sure that all these areas comes under this critically sensitive ecosystem, and they are part of our CRZ maps, so that no disturbance can be done to all these very important ecosystem areas.
Good point, sir. I still remember how mangroves, acted as a protection during a tsunami time.
True.
It was a very interesting story still in our mind. So that's quite interesting. Thank you. And I would like to move to Dr. Jayanti. I mean, very important department, I know. Ma'am, recently central government rationalized some, I believe some norms basically to, facilitate faster and faster clearance. What is it, what will be the impact of those new norms which have been rationalized? Will it really accelerate the process for consent to establish, consent to operate? Would like to hear from you, ma'am.
Yes, that is, I think you're mentioning about the Parivesh Portal 3.0.
Yes.
So it is just in pipeline and some of the states are going forward with it. And when it comes to Tamil Nadu, we are there with the Parivesh Portal, which is 2.0. And I would like to just suggest, because it is more of a, the CR, the State Impact Assessment Authority, they take up all this. So they are much well-versed as to how they go about with the process. But in short, I would like to say that earlier it was very manual. People had to come to the office to SIA and then, take the, apply, take the clearance, and then you pay the fees. So, but now everything is online. So the amount of, the number of days are also decreased and there is more of transparency. When it comes to Tamil Nadu, I would like to add on this Parivesh portal based on our consent mechanism. So recently we had a lot of meetings and it was more based on the compliance burden. How do we decrease the compliance burden? So like the timelines were reduced for 30 days for our red category industries and 20 days for orange, and now green category maybe like 7 to 10 days. So
what was
within
it
that,
earlier, madam?
Earlier it used to take months together. So, and now everything is online. The payment is online, the procedure is online, and the industry can see where his file is pending. And another good thing we have done in Tamil Nadu is we have meetings every 15 days. So whether it is the zonal meeting or it is the consent meeting, which is in the head office, so every 15 days we have meetings and we clear the projects. So that is much faster here. And I would like to add that even we have an auto renewal, which is all the orange and green category industries. It is renewed once it comes. There is no inspection for renewal process. So all these has also seen that Tamil Nadu is a state where we have the MSME units are huge, the MSME industries. So this is encouraging the MSME industries to, apply, and where there is renewals are there, where there are no inspections, so they get their renewals faster.
Okay.
So that is the mechanism.
Excellent, madam. Madam, I think your role is increasingly becoming challenging because every state is now competing to attract investments.
Yes,
there is a healthy competition.
yes.
So you need to strike a balance between growth and protecting environment.
Yes.
So how has this landscape evolved in response to this environment-related concerns, norms? You have to meet those also while making the approvals. Is there any significant change? How has this landscape overall changed?
Like we have the Air Act, we go by the Water Act, Air Act, we have the Noise Pollution Act also. And now we have the EPR, Extended and producer response. So in EPR, we have the plastic waste management rules, we have the biomedical waste management rules, hazardous waste. So there are so many rules which are coming up from Government of India, and they are doing it with consultation in the states. And we are taking up all this, and we abide to see that we abide to these rules. And we also have some kind of not a training program. We have, we have sessions with the industries where we update them on the EPR, which is very important. And we have every month, we have one day where the industries could come and they could clear their, if they have any problems. So that way they come and they have their complaints, their problems, where we could, clear it. And we have OLGPRS where the grievance is also given online. So these things, we are making efforts to see that, the process goes.
So a lot of shift happened from manual to digital,
yes,
right?
Yes, that is the way it.
Interesting. One question, madam. See, Tamil Nadu is a hub for many sectors, electronic sectors, textiles, leather. I just wanted to ask you about how are you handling this concerns relating to the medical waste, medical bio waste, because it's also a healthcare capital. A lot of medical tourism is also being, is a very important destination for it. How are you handling it? What are the, things that you ensure? What are the initiatives?
This biomedical waste is very important, and it goes, we strictly follow the biomedical waste rules 2016. And generally, I kept some data on everything so I could give the right data to you all, whether it's hazardous waste. And now you're asking about biomedical, so based on our annual report of 2025, December 2025, we have in the state 32,957 hospitals. And the biomedical waste generation is around 120.46 tons per day. But the biomedical waste generated is 60.72 tons per day.
Okay.
So, and we have nearly 14 facilities and 11 are in operation. And I would like to tell you, we are one of the states where we have an integrated environment monitoring studio. And this studio has, we have a lot of online apps in the studio where we can see, where we can track the vehicles. So nearly 359 vehicles have been tracked.
Okay.
And we have the biomedical waste facilities also located. So we just track the vehicle and at least we know where it is and whether it is gone to the correct location. So this tracking is being done by our IEMS. And I would like to say that even though the capacity is around 100 tons per day, only 60 tons per day is treated and disposed.
Okay.
So that way we are doing that.
We are doing right. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. I would like to go to Nirmal. First of all, congratulations. You are doing a great job, restoring the, water bodies. Excellent work. Our congratulations to your best work. So just wanted to start with this. How do you find the water conservation methods or, efforts in Tamil Nadu? If you said even the Chengalpattu district has got a lot of lakes, is known for, lakes. So what is your, view on that?
So with your permission, நான் தமிழில் பேசுகிறேன் சார். ஓகே. ஸோ ஃபஸ்ட்டு அந்த பிரதர் ஒருத்தவங்க சொல்லியிருந்தாங்க, அதுக்கு ஆன்சர் பண்ணிங்க. பிரதர் எனக்கு 2 போலீஸ்மேன் கொடுத்துட்டாங்க பிரதர் பெர்மிஷன். தேங்க்யூ உங்கள் இதுக்கு. சார் தமிழ்நாடு வந்து ரொம்ப சூப்பராக இருக்குது சார். நமக்கு பழைய காலத்துலேருந்தும் சரி இப்போவும் சரி நிறைய விஷயத்தில் வந்து ரொம்ப அட்வான்ஸ்டாகவும் இருக்கும், எங்கேயோ இருக்கும். ஏன்னா நான் வந்து ஆல்மோஸ்ட் ஒரு 17 ஸ்டேட்ஸில் ஒர்க் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். குளோபலாகவும் எங்கெங்கே வாட்டர் க்ரைசிஸ் இருக்கோ அங்கே ஆஃப்ரிக்கா வரைக்கும் ஒர்க் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். இந்தியாவில் விதர்பா, ராஜஸ்தான், ரன் ஆஃப் கட்ச் எல்லா இடத்துலையும் ஒர்க் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். பட் இங்கே இருக்க அந்த பீப்புளோட அவேர்னஸ் வந்து நமக்கு கொஞ்சம் ஜாஸ்தியாகவே இருக்குன்னு நான் சொல்லுவேன் சார். ஏன்னா வந்து கவர்மெண்ட் ஒர்க் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருக்காங்க, இதை தாண்டி வந்து மக்களோட அந்த விழிப்புணர்வு வந்து ரொம்ப ரொம்ப ஜாஸ்தியாக இருக்குது இங்கே. இப்போ வேறு ஸ்டேட்ஸில் போய் பார்க்குறப்போ, நான் கம்ப்ளைண்ட்டாக சொல்லலை, கிரவுண்ட் ரியாலிட்டி சொல்கிறேன். வேறு ஸ்டேட்டில் போய் பார்க்குறப்போ அங்கே வந்து ரொம்ப நாள் ஆகும் அவங்களுக்கு அந்த 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 இது கன்வே ஆகிறதுக்கே, எதுக்கு நம்ம ஒர்க் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்ட்டு. பட் இங்கே அப்படி இல்லை, கவர்மெண்ட் மட்டும் தான் ஒர்க் பண்ணணும் அப்படிங்கிறத தாண்டி ரொம்ப நிறைய என்ஜிஓஸ் இங்கே வந்து வாட்டர் பாடி ரெஸ்ட்ரேஷன்ஸ் ஒர்க் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருக்காங்க. ஸோ அதுக்கு வந்து நிறைய விதமான சப்போர்ட்ஸ் கிடச்சிட்ருக்கு. இதை தாண்டி ஒரு ஊர்லேயும் ஏதாச்சும் அந்த கிராமத்தில் இருக்க மக்கள் இளைஞர்களே பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க. நீங்கள் இப்போ சோஷியல் மீடியாவில் போய் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வீக்கெண்ட்ஸ் ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு ஆக்டிவிட்டீஸ் வந்து இந்த வாட்டர் பாடிஸ் சுற்றி நடந்துகிட்டே இருக்குது. எதர் அந்த பாம் சீட்ஸ்லேருந்து தூர்வாரத்துலேருந்து அந்த சீமைக்கர் வேலை மரத்துலேருந்து. அதே நேரத்தில் வந்து நிறையா பேருக்கு வீட்டில் போய் உட்காந்து பேசுகிற டாப்பிக்காக மாறிடுச்சு இது. இப்போ ஒரு ஃப்ளட்டு டைமில் பேசுகிறது, புயல் டயத்தில் பேசுகிறது, இதெல்லாம் தாண்டி நிறையா பேர் வந்து பேச ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க. அந்த ஊரில் வந்து அந்த பசங்க பண்ணி அந்த ஊருக்கு தண்ணி கொண்டு வந்துட்டாங்களா, நம்ம ஏன் பண்ணக்கூடாது அப்படின்ட்டு. எதனால் இதை சொல்கிறேன்னா, நான் லாஸ்ட் ஒரு 7 இயர்ஸாக இதில் ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தாலும் லாஸ்ட் ஒரு 3 இயர்ஸாக தான் ராமநாதபுரத்தில் ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். ராமநாதபுரம் தான் நான் பார்த்ததுலேயே உலகத்திலே கொடூரமான வாட்டர் கிரைசிஸ் இருக்குது, கமுதி, கடலாடி, முதுகுளத்தூரில். நான் இப்போ உட்காந்து நம்ம இங்கே பேசிகிட்டு இருக்க நேரத்தில் அட்லீஸ்ட் ஒரு 1500 பேராச்சும் ரோட்டில் அந்த வண்டியை வச்சுட்டு தண்ணி எடுக்க போயிட்டுருப்பாங்க. பட் இந்த நம்பர்ஸ் வந்து லாஸ்ட் ஒரு 3-4 இயர்ஸில் மாறி இருக்குது. இதுக்கு முன்னாடி வந்து ஊரை காலி பண்ணிட்டு போனவங்க திருப்பி ஊருக்கு வர ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க. எதனாலனா அங்கே இருக்க யங்ஸ்டர்ஸ் வந்து எடுத்து ஒர்க் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க. ஸோ இதுக்கு வந்து கவர்மெண்ட் சைட்லேருந்து நிறைய சப்போர்ட் இருக்குது. நிறைய விஷயம் இன்னும் மாறிச்சு அப்படின்னா நிறைய விஷயம் சரி பண்ண முடியும் சார்.
எக்ஸலண்ட் சார். இதுக்கு வாட் ஹஸ் ஆக்சுவலி காஸ் த டீக்ரேடேஷன்? யூ ஹவ் ரீஸ்டோர்ட் so many water bodies. What have been the major reasons? Are these things could be preventable or இதை வந்து ஸ்டாப் பண்ண முடியுமா? What have been your key lessons?
கண்டிப்பாக ஸ்டாப் பண்ண முடியும் சார். ஏன்னா வந்து இது நம்ம வந்து இந்த பிரச்சனைகள் எல்லாமே லாஸ்ட் ஒரு 30-40 வருஷத்துக்குள்ளே மாறினது தான். அத்தனை வருஷமாக இது எல்லாமே சரியாக தான் இருந்திருக்கு, இயங்கிட்டு தான் இருந்திருக்கு. ஸோ இங்கே வந்து 2-3 விஷயம் வந்து வியாபாரமானதுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் இந்த விஷயம் மாறுச்சுன்னு நான் சொல்லுவேன் சார். ஒன்று வந்து மண். அதுக்கு முன்னாடி இப்போ ஒரு 1970 வரைக்கும் ஊரில் இருக்கவங்களாம் சேர்ந்து மண்ணை வெட்டி விவசாயத்துக்கு பயன்படுத்திக்கிருப்பாங்க. ஏரி தூர்வாரப்பட்டுக்கிட்டே வரும், தண்ணிங்கிறது அதில் சேமிச்சுக்கிட்டே இருந்துச்சு. இப்போ ஒரு பேன் வந்துச்சு, மக்கள் வந்து பெர்மிஷன் இல்லாமல் மண்ணை எடுக்கக்கூடாது அப்படின்ட்டு. ஸோ அந்த டைமில் இந்த மண் எடுத்து விற்கிறவங்க உள்ளே வந்தாங்க. இவங்க போய் என்ன பண்ணிடுறாங்கன்னா, எந்த இடத்துல மண் ஜாஸ்தியாக இருக்கோ அந்த இடத்துல இஷ்டத்துக்கு மண் எடுத்துடுறாங்க. ஸோ நமக்கு கீழே எல்லா இடத்துலையும் கிராக்ஸ் இருக்குது. நம்மளோட சர்ஃபேஸில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா கிராக்ஸ் இருக்குது. ஸோ அதிகப்படியான மண் எடுக்கிறதுனால அந்த கிளேங்கிற ஒரு இதை டிஸ்டர்ப் பண்ணிடுறதுனால ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு கிராக் மூலியமாக எல்லா தண்ணியும் கீழே போயிடுது. ஸோ கிரவுண்ட் வாட்டர் ரீசார்ஜும் இல்லை, அங்கே வந்து அந்த சர்ஃபேஸ் ஏரியாவுக்கும் தண்ணி கிடைக்க மாட்டேங்குது. ஸோ இந்த விஷயம் வந்து ஒரு பெரிய பாதிப்பை கொடுத்துச்சுன்னு சார். அப்புறம் வந்து ப்ரோசோஃபிஸ் ஜூலிஃப்ளோரா. ஸோ நீங்கள் அது இல்லாத இடமே பார்க்கவே முடியாது. அதை தாண்டி வந்து மக்களுக்கும் விழிப்புணர்வு ரொம்ப குறைஞ்சிருச்சு சார். ஏன்னா இப்போ ஒரு 25 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி வந்து காசுக்கு தண்ணி கொடுத்து வாங்குகிறோம் அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து மேபி யாரோ அப்ராட்லேருந்து வந்திருக்காங்க, அவங்களுக்கு நம்ம ஊர் தண்ணி செட் ஆகுது அப்படிங்கிறது தான் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங்காக இருந்துச்சு. இப்போ யாருக்கு காசுக்கு தண்ணி கொடுத்து வாங்காமல் இருக்கும், அதை நம்மளே கேட்டுக்குவோம். ஸோ அந்த விஷயம் ப்ளஸ் இங்கே சிட்டிஸில் இருக்கிறவங்களுக்கு வந்து என்னதான் இருந்தாலும் பைப்பை திருவினா தண்ணி வந்துடும், வரலைன்னா இங்கே எப்படியாச்சும் கொண்டு வந்துடுவாங்க. பட் கிராமப்புறங்களில் அப்படி இல்லை. அங்கே இருக்க குளத்துல தண்ணி இருந்தால் மட்டும்தான் அந்த ஊர் நல்லாயிருக்கும், அந்த ஊர் நல்லா இருந்தால் தான் அங்கே இருக்க எல்லா அமைப்புமே சரியாக இருக்கும். ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்கள் வந்து காலப்போக்கில் மாறிட்டே வந்துடுச்சு. நான் ரிலீஜியஸாக சொல்கிறேன் அப்படின்னு நினச்சிக்க வேணாம். நம்ம வந்து சின்ன வயசுலேருந்தே கேள்விப்பட்ட விஷயம் சரி, பார்த்த விஷயமும் சரி, நம்ம காதில் விழுவுறதும், இப்போது உனக்கு மனசு சரியில்லை ஏதோ கோயில் குளத்துக்கு போயிட்டு வா அப்படிம்பாங்க. உனக்கு எது நல்லது நடக்கலையா ஒரு கோயில் குளத்துக்கு போவாங்க. கோயிலை ஒழுங்காக பார்த்துக்குறோம், குளத்தை ஒழுங்காக பார்த்துக்கிறோமான்னு நம்மளே யோசிச்சுக்குவோம். ஸோ கோயிலுக்கு கொடுக்குற இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸு அப்படியே நீங்கள் குளத்துக்கு கொடுங்கன்னு நான் சொல்லலை. அது கொடுக்குற இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸில் கொஞ்சமாச்சும் குளத்துக்கும் கொடுத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா ஊரும் நல்லாயிருக்கும், எல்லோரும் நல்லா இருப்பாங்க. ஏன்னா தண்ணிங்கிறது வந்து நமக்கு மட்டும் கிடையாது, நம்ம மட்டும்தான் தண்ணியை கெடுத்துட்ருக்கோம். இதனால் எல்லா லிவிங் ஆர்கானிசம்ஸும் பாதிச்சுட்ருக்கு. ஸோ நம்ம ஒருத்தவங்க சரி பண்ணிக்கிட்டோம் அப்படின்னா எல்லாருமே நல்லா இருக்கலாம்.
எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு குளம்லாம் எல்லாம் இருக்கு, சீரமைக்க தான் பண்ணலன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். சீரமைக்கல.
ஆமாம் சார்.
மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த ஐ திங்க் வாட்டர் பாடிஸ் ஆர் தேர் நியர் தி டெம்பிள்ஸ், பட் only thing is desilting don't happen very often.
Exactly.
Good point. Sir, you talked about Tamil Nadu has got better awareness in terms of conservation of water, other states are not having. I'm sure you know about this Clean Ganga project. They've set up so many water treatment plants to make it cleaner. Do you அந்த மாதிரி ஏதாவது ஸ்கீம்ஸ் தமிழ்நாட்டுக்கும் தேவையா? பிகாஸ் வி ஆல்வேஸ் டிபெண்ட் ஆன் தீஸ் வாட்டர் பாடிஸ் ஃபார் ட்ரிங்கிங் எல்லாத்துக்குமே. ஸோ உங்களோட வியூ என்ன?
ஆக்சுவலி க்ளீன் கங்கா மூமெண்ட்டில் நானும் ஒர்க் பண்ணுறேன், இந்தியன் ஆர்மி கூட சேர்ந்து நானும் ஒர்க் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருக்கேன். பட் நீங்கள் சொல்லாமல் என்னன்னு தெரில, பட் அது சரியாக போகணும் அப்படிங்கிறத என்னோட விஷயம். ஏன்னா வந்து ஒரு சின்ன எக்ஸாம்பிளோட சொல்லிடுறேன். 2019 நான் அந்த கேஞ்சஸ் ரெஸ்டரேஷன் ஒர்க் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருக்கேன். அங்கே ஒர்க் பண்ண போகிறப்போ அந்த காசியில் போய் பார்க்குறப்போ அங்கே காசியில் எப்படி இருக்குன்னு உங்களுக்கு தெரியும், அந்த தண்ணியெல்லாம் எப்படி இருக்குன்னு தெரியும். அந்த காட்ஸில் நின்று பார்க்குறேன், அந்த டெட் பாடி எரியுதோ எரியலையோ அடுத்த பாடி க்யூவில் இருந்துச்சுன்னா அதை அப்படியே தள்ளி விட்டுறாங்க. ஸோ அங்கே சீஃப் இன்ஜினியர் என்கிட்ட சொன்னது என்னென்னா, இனிமேல் இதில் ஒர்க் பண்ண போறியா அப்படின்னாரு. எனக்கு பயமாக இருக்குது சார் அப்படின்னு சொன்னேன். அப்போ அவர் சொன்னது என்னென்னா, நல்லா யோசிச்சுக்க, ஏன்னா வந்து 2008-9 அந்த பீரியடில் ஒரு வாட்டி வந்து அந்த ஏரியா ரெஸ்டோர் பண்ண ட்ரை பண்ணாங்களாம். 30 அடிக்கு கீழே தோணினாலும் அந்த ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு ஹியூமன் அந்த இது வந்துகிட்டே இருந்துச்சான். அதுக்கு அப்போ வந்து ஆவரேஜாக வந்து 600-700 டெட் பாடிஸ் ஒரு நாளைக்கு அங்கே இது பண்ணுவாங்க. இப்போ வந்து அட்லீஸ்ட் 7,000 to 10,000 அந்த ஆவரேஜ் போயிட்டுருக்கு. கோவிட் டைமில் இன்னும் ஜாஸ்தியாக இருந்துச்சான். ஸோ நீ இப்போ போனேன்னா அப்போவே 30 அடிக்கு வரைக்கும் இருந்தது, இப்போ எவ்வளோக்கு இருக்குன்னு யோசிச்சுக்க அப்படின்னாரு. அந்த டைமில் எங்கள் அம்மா ஃபோன் பண்ணுது, எங்கடா நம்பி இருக்க அப்படின்னு. இந்த கங்கை நதிக்கு வந்தேன் அப்படின்னு. ஒரு பாட்டில் தண்ணி மட்டும் எடுத்துக்கூடா அப்படின்னுச்சு.
ஓகே, நிறைய வாட்டர் ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் பிளான்ஸும் போட்டிருக்காங்க, செட்டப் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க, ஸோ தட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரியல் வேஸ்ட் டோன்ட் கோ அண்ட் மிக்ஸ். பட் இந்த விஷயம் நம்மளா டிசைட் பண்ண வேண்டிய விஷயம் இல்லையா?
ஆமா,
இது இட் இஸ்
எவ்ரிதிங் இஸ் ஹேப்பனிங், பட் ஸ்டில் சம் மாடிஃபிகேஷன் ஷுட் பி தேர்.
ஓகே,
ஒரு சில விஷயம் சரி பண்ணிக்கிட்டாங்க, கொஞ்சம் ஸ்ட்ரிக்டாக வாட்ச் பண்ணாங்க அப்படின்னா இந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்கள் நடக்காது.
ரைட், தேங்க்யூ.
I come from Varanasi only, so electric crematorium is there, but
But
nobody uses.
Yeah, uses. Yes, nobody uses. Wooden thing. And they set up lot of treatment plants so that industrial waste don't go into the. I think I've seen several. In fact, Chennai-based companies have been doing. Vatak Wabag is doing a lot of treatment plants. So on the industrial waste side, there's some amount of initiatives are there. As a
It's
human
happening, sir. But என்னன்னா இப்போ இனிஷியேட் பண்றப்ப கரெக்டாக ஃபாலோ பண்ணி போகுது. பட் அது வந்து கண்டினியூ ஆகுதா சஸ்டெயின் ஆகுதா அப்படிங்கிறது தான் இங்கே கேள்விக்குரிய.
மெயின்டெனன்ஸ் இஸ் த ப்ராப்ளம்.
ஆமாம், இங்கே ஏன்னா வந்து இப்போ வந்து டாப் லெவலில் இருக்கிறவங்க அதை சரி பண்ணணும்னு நினைச்சாலும் இப்போ ஒரு முனிசிபாலிட்டி வண்டி ஓட்டுற டிரைவர் அந்த செயினை உடைச்சிருவாரு.
கரெக்ட்.
இப்போ ஒரு குப்பையை போயிட்டு யாருக்கும் தெரியாம பக்கத்துல இருக்க ஒரு குளம் அப்படின்னு குப்பையை கொட்டிட்டு வந்துருவாங்க.
கரெக்ட். இதுலயும் லாஸ்ட் மைல் இஷ்யூஸ் இருக்கு போல் தெரியும்.
கண்டிப்பா இதுல இருக்கு சார்.
குட். தேங்க் யூ ஸோ மச். Ms. Kalpana, thank you. Thanks for your participation. I would like to start with this. The buzzword every family is now organic foods. I think we see lots of families talking about organic foods and all. Some people term it as expensive. There are different views. How is it catching up? Are we really, looking at the clean, proper organic foods? How is it shaping up? What are your thoughts?
Thank you for having me on this panel, and I'm very happy that I'm able to talk about organic farming because we have been talking about energy and renewable energy and all water conservation, everything, and I think clean food isn't something that doesn't look like it's a priority, but we are seeing there is so much of hazardous, whether it is our health. First of all, I think as selfishly everybody should be concerned about our health, health and well-being. And then, of course, it's affecting our environment, the chemical farming, which just started probably just post-World War II. But I think we think that that's normal. The farming culture that we are following is not normal. And coming to your question of whether organic farming is expensive or whether it's catching up, my idea about organic farming is, we have already we have brainwashed all our farmers or whatever, they have been doing this. They can't think beyond urea, pesticide farming, right? And so when we start to tell them, first of all, they were doing properly. We are the ones who meddled with the whole business, all policymakers. It's a top-down approach. Nobody at the ground level is actually doing these things. So it happens. But now when we talk about organic and we are seeing the devastating effects of chemical farming that we are seeing, suddenly now everybody is, waking up to the fact that, we need to go organic. But when you start organic, imagine a land which is completely deprived, dead. There is no microbe because there's so much of pesticide pollution. There is so much of soil is like completely dead.
Spoiled.
Yeah. Now the soil will not literally, you can't like the next day go and start growing something on the soil without chemicals or without, fertilizers, because there's nothing to support life. And so when we start organic farming, we are slowly transitioning into bio inputs, like, how can we add cow dung manure and our regular ways of doing things. And these things, when we start, it will take some time to land to rejuvenate. It takes time, right? The soil microbes have to develop and, things have to start building. And generally, if you look at forests and other natural ecosystem, who is sowing seeds? Who is watering the plants? Who is adding manure to the... So what we have to learn is we have to learn from nature how it works. And that is how our traditional agricultural systems were. Like, we were not actually adding so much of bio input. It was a very circular economy. We had all the farmers would have some cows and goats and things. The manure will automatically go there.
Absolutely.
They'll graze the weeds will be grazed. It's very, very circular. No waste is generated at all. And so what happens is your soil fertility is built over time. And then, so now what I'm talking about is more than organic. For the moment we say organic farming, because we are all used to, we have to put something in the land too. Till now I was putting fertilizer, till now I was putting pesticide. Now if you're asking me to stop it, then I should put something, So that's where these organic inputs and a lot of things have come. Now that is playing a bigger role. But what I'm saying is slowly from that initial input, it'll take a couple of years for the soil to develop. But once it develops, we need to allow it to function like how nature works, right? So it should be like a no-input agriculture. It will reach the point because our soils are very intelligent. Nature is very intelligent. So we have we have interfered too much into it and we have caused this havoc on us. But once you stop this, we are talking about organic farming being expensive. I'm very surprised because chemical and pesticide farming, it's equally expensive,
I'm
but our
saying-
health, we are paying it with our health.
Yeah.
You know, so there is a cost that we are paying.
Exactly.
So we have to understand that organic farming necessarily is not expensive. That was a way of life, but it's like the constant input. I mean, I think that should be also transitioned slowly out from chemical to organic to then slowly moving into natural farming where the land takes care of itself. We are doing plantation in a way that it does not require any additional input. What I mean by that is, right now the culture is monocropping, like hectares of lands of paddy, because we are feeding the world, basically. What we are saying is, farmers, we are feeding the world population. And all the, the grains are being exported to some country. Here, farmers are dying, starving, and, committing suicide because they don't have sustenance, but we are exporting food. So what I'm trying to say is, because we are looking at a very production-oriented, agriculture has become a factory. It's not a living system anymore. True. When agriculture is not living system, it's become a factory production. Of course, there cannot be constant production. In nature, there are cycles. It's a cyclical, you need some rejuvenation time, you need some sowing time. At the same time, instead of monocropping, we need to go back to mixed cropping. Legumes and cereals and vegetables and flowers and fruits. I mean, so there has to be a different, this is how small farms existed. Like family farms, if you go back to the villages, you will see they will not just grow just paddy alone. They'll have all kinds of, there'll be groundnuts, there'll be pulses, there'll be vegetables for the family. Actually, nowadays, if you see just the smallholder family farms, they are not even growing, for themselves. No subsistence farming is happening. They don't eat what they're growing. They grow for cash crops. They sell it, they take the money, buy from outside, same thing. So I'm saying that culture we have only propagated, and it's a very sad state of affairs, but I think we have to systemically see the problems that we've created. So it is not expensive. To come back to your question, I think the way we are doing it, I think it needs a deeper understanding of what we are doing, how we are destroying our natural things. First you destroy the soil and then you wonder why nothing is growing. So I think that's the understanding that we need to
on the productivity side, you said, we had issues in terms of food shortage. The Green Revolution was aimed at because of things. Maybe there was a time that we had to look into the productivity issues. Maybe in the over time we lost focus. But there was a need for, looking at productivity. The Green Revolution was actually because, not all people got food. That was the issue. Maybe over a period of time, we lost focus.
No, if you ask me that, I think you will open a can of worms here, because I think most of us who are like, agroecologists and who are looking at, right now I have a group of like-minded people. We are talking about it and we are actually discussing about what the Green Revolution was all about. And I think if we go into it, I think will be very ugly, because we realized that it was all a propaganda. Okay, so I think sometimes we as common people don't even know the ground reality. Somebody is deciding. Churchill sits there in the US and decides something, right? So, I mean, so we can't go there. It's a very political thing, and I understand that, I think environment, politics, society are all intertwined, and we cannot just look at one issue of agriculture and think that we can just solve it at that level. You can just bring an organic farming project and it will be solved. No, it's a very systemic problem. Lot of all this gender politics, caste-based politics, everything is intertwined. In our society, there's the fabric. When you go to a rural village, you will see that these things still exist. You can't just say, okay, let's start this project, we are going to do it. It doesn't work that way. So we need to work at a very different...
Yeah, you're right. In fact, US got multiple agri-lobbies. Each lobby gets its own power whenever the opportunity. I wanted to know, from you, I think every state is now focusing. Tamil Nadu has also got focus on, in its agriculture budget, focusing on organic farming. Are we having adequate, regulatory or, policy support to drive, promote organic farming in the country?
Actually, policy-wise, there are a lot of policies which have been actually, Tamil Nadu organic farming policy is there, and they are giving awards to farmers who are implementing. And there is this National Mission for Natural Farming. There is a policy in that name, and there is I think Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, there is the Prime Minister's policy on national farming. So nationwide, statewide, everywhere, there are a lot of policies which are implemented. There's lots and lots of money which has been allocated. Funds are allocated, district level, state level, stakeholder level. Everything is very neatly planned. I've read the policies and I've seen the in-depth work that is done, but I'm not sure how much is being translated at the ground level. So that is why when we talk about, the topic today was about inclusivity and, engaging and impactful. And in that part, I really want to see that the farmers who are at the ground level also need to be part of the policy making. What happens is we sit in our offices, like we had wonderful officers who were talking, like we are in our silos, right? We're thinking from that, and this is a top-down approach of we just think of something, some Harvard scientists would say something, economists would say something, and then we would just tell the farmers, do this, do this. That is not how it actually works. So policies are very good. They are in place, but what is happening is, at the same time, I want to tell one more thing is, when you start this organic farming policies, there are a lot of bio input resources, BRCs, which are located. They are making sure that, farmers can go to them and get these inputs, which are natural inputs. But at the same time, they are subsidizing all the pesticides and fertilizers. We attended one of the sessions just 1 week back, last week, about the pesticide regulation policy. And they're saying, if the pesticide, is not approved by the officials, after 18 months, it automatically gets approved, it seems. These are the loopholes we are working with. And if the pesticides are poisonous, poisonous neurotoxins and, things which are like wreaking havoc in our health, but we are not able to question them at that level because somebody else is making the policy, something else is, taking over those things. So, yes, policies are there. I would like to make sure that stop subsidizing the chemical, fertilizers. If you want to increase this, you can't constantly be also subsidizing that, right? So I think the way it needs to be approved, and then slowly transitioning the chemical farmers into organic. You have to give them the livelihood support. Suddenly, if you say stop using chemicals and start doing organic, but what happens when the crop yield is not there? It's not going to be there in the first year. But then how do they support their family? So as, like sometimes I'm myself, I'm taking the blame. Like we as urbanites, we sit here and we cannot even imagine. There's such a rural and urban divide. And we think that we are outsourcing our food needs to the rural villages. But in turn, what are we giving back? They are all migrating as workers and coming into our cities to work because there is nothing else left for them to do.
Yeah, even for crops also, I think they are unable to change because they have to depend on MSPs because otherwise they don't fetch market price.
Exactly, and there are only 2-3 crops.
We've seen it in our own villages. People, if anybody is trying a different crop, they're unable to fetch a good price because so they have to depend on MSP.
Absolutely.
So MSP is also widened, but there is a limit.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are really running short of time. We are unable to take any questions from audience. Please, you can talk to them offline. Really sorry for thank you so much, each member. Thank you so much for participation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please remain on stage while I invite Mr. Manigandan Nair and Mr. Mayappan from the Times of India back on stage to felicitate our panelists who've dedicated a crucial part of their week for such an instrumental and inspiring cause. I really loved learning how important mangroves are for bioregulation, how we can meaningfully decrease compliance turnaround time and showcase process transparency, why everyday conversations about environmental problems is crucial for the right mindset and sustainable development, breaking the top-down approach to make amendments in small but significant ways. Thank you all so much. This was a wonderful, wonderful session. Thank you so much, our attentive and enthusiastic audience, for making this such a meaningful event. Dinner is waiting for us to continue chatting offline. kindly join us for dinner. It's being served. We would really love to have more conversations with you while we chat offline with you at dinner. And to deliver the vote of thanks, may I please call upon Mr. Mayappan, the General Manager, Times of India.
You can tell them. Good evening, respected dignitaries, who are all on the dais, esteemed speakers, distinguished guests, partners, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. A very pleasant evening to all as we come to the close to this insightful and forward-looking conclave on green horizons. How do we move towards a greener tomorrow? It's my proud and privilege on behalf of the Times of India to propose vote of thanks. Today's discussion have reaffirmed a powerful truth that the journey towards sustainability is not the responsibility of one department or one sector or one institution. It is a shared mission that calls for policy vision, administrative commitment, industry innovation, and societal participation. We deeply honored by the august presence of the senior bureaucrats who have delivered special note and keynote address from the government of Tamil Nadu, who not only shape the policy but actively drive the green transition on the ground. Our sincere gratitude to Tirumadi Supriya Sagu, Additional Chief Secretary, Champion of the Earth Award by UN, for her visionary leadership in environment, climate change, and forest, and Dr. Radhakrishnan, Additional Chief Secretary, for steering the power distribution landscape towards sustainability, and Mr. Mangatram Sharma, Additional Chief Secretary, for his guidance in the Energy Department, Dr. Jayanti Murli, Chairperson, Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board, for her relentless work in pollution control and environmental governance, Dr. Anish Shekhar, IAS, MD, leading the TN Green Energy Corporation with purpose, Mr. Rahul Nath, IAS, for his role in climate change initiatives, then Anurag Mishra, Special Secretary, for his contribution to environment and climate policy. Your presence here today has elevated this conclave from a discussion forum to a policy-relevant platform. We also extend our heartful thanks to our industry through leaders, Mr. Dinesh Arjun and Mr. Nirmal Raghavan, and Ms. Kalpana Manivannan, for bringing the crucial industry and grassroots perspective to the sustainability dialogue. A special note of appreciation to our moderator, Balachandar, Chief of Business Bureau, The Times of India, for seamlessly anchoring this meaningful conversation and bringing out actionable insight from the panel. The event would not have been possible without strong support of our partners, Tamil Nadu Green Energy Corporation Limited and Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board, whose commitment to environmental stewardship aligns perfectly with the theme of this evening. I also thank our Associate Vice President, Mr. Manikandan, for his valuable guidance to the team in driving this initiative. My appreciation to the Times Experience team, headed by colleague Balu and his team, and colleague Surya, Santana Krishnan, Magesh, and venue partner ITC, and every member working behind the scene whose efforts ensure the smooth conduct of this conclave. Finally, my heartfelt thanks to all our distinguished invitees and participants. Your presence, engagement, and interest in this subject make initiatives like this meaningful and impactful. Let us make today's dialogue translate into that action through meaningful collaboration and measurable progress towards the greener tomorrow. Thank you all once again. Nandri Vanakkam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Truly, thanks once again for all the dignitaries who have made time for us this evening. It's a very, very important conversations that we need to have, and it sparks so many different ideas. It brings so many new perspectives to things that we have in mind. And thank you so much to our attentive and participative and enthusiastic audience for adding meaning to what we do and for always being here and raising your voice along with us for what's important. Thank you so much. Let's continue chatting offline while we all have dinner. Vanakkam, Nandri.